Last we left our heroes. Beaten and broken, but alive, you survived your first encounter with the Harbinger of Famine, and second with the Harbinger of War, but did suffer losses beyond the Wildcards. Queen Baldora, Alana's sister, fell in battle, and the target of the Revenant Vow became squarely placed on Alana's back. You retreated within the Soul Forge to rest and regroup, planning and hoping to gain an upper hand in this fight, but not before long. Raymond Boralis reached into Alana's mind. Her identity was known to them, and he offered her a deal: sacrifice for salvation of the city. Raymond had taken residence within the mausoleum in the Hearth Ward, and here he would wait for you to come. Finally came time to make a call, and the fight was brought to him. You battled well to make your way to your enemy, but they were prepared with a few surprises of their own. The surprise arrival of the leader of the vow, the tiefling Throtir, and the raised form of Alana's father caught you off guard, and through some poor positioning, a wall of force cut Alana from the rest of you, who watched through it as Throtir brought Alana low, and Gunther Redmane was ordered to slay his own daughter. With Alana dead, the three seals break, and the fight continued on, but ultimately your enemy left without further loss. The crypt of the kings and queens of the great dwarven city falls silent. Heartbreaker's light is dim, and your only source of light now, as Gunther's form fades away, and the braziers lie cold and still, though this is not where we're going to begin tonight. Alana, your eyes open slowly as the last waves of pain ebb away, and you feel surprisingly fine. No pain, no aching, nothing. Your eyes begin to focus and watch a brilliant aurora of rainbow hue flowing across the star-dappled sky. Gently drifting snow falls from amidst the stars and gently falls across your body. And as you sit up fully, still within your armor, hammer still in hand, though save the deadly wound you can see on your body, the wound you can barely recall at this point. You sit up fully, and you look around a snow-capped mountaintop. Ridges and rocky outcroppings stretch around you on all sides, but down a slight slope of snow, you see a singular rise of rock sat between these mountain ridgelines. Stretching from the slope in front of you, there's a golden gilded bridge that leads across the chasm between the mountains into this central rocky rise, atop which you see a massive hall. The sounds of raucous laughter and merriment ring out across the windswept mountaintops. The fire from the hall is welcoming, and you feel a calling deep within you to the long hallowed halls of Valhalla. But looking down this slope, at the foot of the bridge on your side, a figure awaits. Her back is to you, but you see her looking onward in the same way you are now, your sister Baldora. She's roughly 100 feet down a little slope of snow, and as of yet has yet to look back to you.
Can I run to her?
Absolutely. You immediately begin tearing down this mountaintop, and you find you are surprisingly light of foot, and there's no issue to wade through this surprisingly thick amount of snow, and you find you're almost gliding across on top of it, and you make your way to Baldora, who, as you approach, she does turn to see you, and she turns almost immediately with a defensive stance, though no weapons in hand, but immediately seeing you and recognition sets in her face. She smiles, and then kind of the smile breaks, and as you get close to her, she reaches out for a hug, and kind of embraces you, and kind of just holds you for a second, and kind of pulls you away and looks at your face again and just says, "Got you too, huh?"
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I promised you. I promised I was going to keep you safe, and I promised we were going to make it out alive. And I promised that I was going to do everything in my power to make sure that we would fight together, we would stand together, we would all end up together, and I'm just so sorry.
You have nothing to be sorry about. We fought. We stood. We did what we promised one another to do. I hope what this means. I don't know what it means. I guess it's done, though. And now we're here, and to be honest, I'm kind of scared. I honestly don't know if I can go on. Something inside me, calls me forward. Our time has ended, and we've been welcomed into the halls of heroes. We should feel proud. I only feel fear and regret.
Well, don't, because you did nothing wrong. You did everything you could. You stood to the end as the queen that you are. And I got your hand. We're going to go together.
It's
One
true.
step at a time. If you want to wait here, we don't have to go yet. We can wait for a little bit. Just take it in.
Well, maybe let's wait then. At least we're together.
Yeah.
Part of me fears that if we don't go now, we may not get a chance to come back if there's a next time. Back in the crypt, the battle has ended, the dust settles. What do the rest of you do?
Back! Who the fuck is up still?
I'll just like drag myself over to Brawley and just kind of like fall down.
You fall down beside Lavender, who is still kind of kneeling beside Alana's form. Hondo and Gord, you guys stand at the opposite end of the crypt, close to where Throtir and Raymond had just bamfed away by magical means. Mary, you make your way over to Alana's side as well. The crypt is silent, and as I said in the beginning, your light, Heartbreaker's light, is kind of the only flickering light to which you can see the room and see your fallen friend.
Sound off. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, whatever that means.
Hey.
Are we alone in here? Did they leave?
Are you asking me as the DM or just like as
I was
character?
gonna ask the group, but I'll do
Okay,
a little
sorry.
listen.
No, I did. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish. My bad.
It's because my accent as Valentine is very, very good.
If anyone wants to do a perception check, you are more than welcome to perception check.
Yeah, I'll pass one. Pretty good. Perception, that's 25.
The crypt is silent, save your heavy breaths and some muffled tears. You wait. You give it a solid 30 seconds of quiet, just closing your eyes and just trying to push away emotion and just listen. And you can hear from outside, like down the long halls in the crypt where there's this kind of open passage down still. You can still hear a very faint sound of battle. There's the sound of yelling and kind of roaring of battle and this clanging of metal and sounds of the horde outside. But it's very far off. But it is the only other sound you hear. Until at the far end of the crypt towards where Raymond and Throtir bamfed away, there's a sudden clatter, and you shoot up, Heartbreaker kind of pointed in the direction. And through the darkness, close to Hondo and Gord, you see Thor standing like mid-swing and just kind of suddenly looks around, still mid-battle, but battle is over. And he kind of looks to you, Hondo and Gord, and says, "What the fuck happened? Is it over?"
Oh, God.
I can try and bring her back.
We need to get out of here first. We don't know what's safe. We need to get her to safety, and all of us to safety, and see what the fuck is going on outside now that Raymond's gone. Hondo, get the carpet.
So I get the carpet.
I'll help Hondo with the carpet. See if we can try and get Brawley on this.
Easily enough.
Where are we going? Are we trying to go back to the Soul Forge?
Let's get outside first. Soul Forge makes sense. Let's get everyone. We need to take her somewhere no one else can touch her.
Okay.
I'll-
Why don't you ride the carpet with me?
Okay, that sounds good. I want to stay close to her. I'll light my torch and give us some extra light.
Okay.
Or I'll hand my torch to Mary, actually, so she can see.
Okay.
I got goggle. Okay, yeah.
You guys begin your procession up the stairs, and Unfortunately, you can't ride the carpet up these tight stairs, but between the group of you, easy enough to kind of close it and kind of carry Alana's body cradled within. And you guys make your procession up into the main floor of the mausoleum, which still lies quiet still. And as you kind of make your way to the midpoint and begin to kind of peer out through the still open doors, which are kind of still faintly burning from a flaming sphere that once smashed into them, you look out, and those of you in front, you can actually see the horde has kind of made their way through the streets and are visible on this side where they weren't before. But you notice they do not carry the same ferocity that they have when you last faced them. They seem aimless. They seem more like the typical undead that you're used to. Aimless is almost the perfect word. They're just kind of ambling around. They don't seem driven to fight. Though you can hear and see the rush of the Red Guard as the battle they pick up and they begin to push back towards them. However, the streets are dangerous for the time being, as there are still several hundred zombies out in the immediate exterior.
Are there any guards?
You don't see any yet, but you can hear them growing closer with your passives and with your group passives. You can hear that the sounds of the fight are getting closer, but they've not quite reached you.
Do we even try and bring her back? We could, do we try and bring her back to the Soul Forge? We could try it in there.
Look, I just don't trust anything that's going on there. We know that place is somewhere we can hold up. It's also a holy place. I don't know how this works, but it doesn't seem like it's going to hurt. I don't want to be in this place. I don't want to bring her back in this place.
Okay.
I'll just take it.
Silent.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Maybe we can be all stealthy like Gord. You could help us out, and we can try and sneak back to the Soul Forge.
Do that.
What's Gord's expression right now? How is he feeling?
You can't tell.
Can I tell?
No.
Mary, make your insight check. Gord, are you actively trying to hide emotion, or actually, I don't want you to say this out loud. Is there a whisper message?
Yeah, you can.
In this?
You can message just one person, yeah.
Brock, send me a private message of whether you're like. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, send me a private message. If you are if you're trying to hide emotion from everyone, or if you actively just do not give a shit about what's happening right now, or how you actually feel.
He's actually happy.
Yeah, I'm curious your opinion, but you don't have to say it out loud to everyone. Okay. Mary, you can make your insight.
I rolled a 23, which isn't super high for me.
She good. Mary, you see Gord bawling silently. Big cat tears.
I'll say she's very specifically, she's looking for anyone's face but Brawley's. Like she can't look at her. So she's trying to keep herself distracted by focusing on everyone else.
Val will be looking at her a lot.
Okay, I just messaged you back. In the meantime,
get as many people on this carpet as we can.
So you can carry 4 of you, 3 of you and Brawley, and then you still need to ferry a couple somehow.
How far is the roof that we were jumping from earlier?
It's I think it was 80 feet across, and then it was 20 feet up.
I can just fucking run to the roof. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
I can turn you into a bird, or I can turn myself into a bird.
Save your spells. We don't know what else we're gonna face. We don't know if anyone else is here. We don't know if they're gone for good. I don't fucking trust them. So who's all on the carpet out of game? We have the three
Lav.
of you.
Yeah, Valav, Brawley, and did you say we could fit one more, Kyle?
Yeah, you can go 4 total. So
So
Brawley
maybe
is,
we'll have
is
4
one.
on there because he's probably not very good at moving around.
That would be appreciated.
And then Gordo has animal stuff. Hondo and Mary, you guys are pretty like dexterous.
Brock, did you get the total?
Huh?
Did you roll what the check I said?
No, sorry. What was it?
It's in the private chat.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I had my window moved over so the chat.
That's okay. So 4 of you on the carpet. You still need to figure out whether you're using spells or like it's gonna be if you were to try and move on foot, you're gonna be impacting. Is that adding your modifier or straight dice, Brock?
Yeah, every number now is like from that sheet.
Perfect. Mary, in that case, you can tell Gord kind of bears no emotion. Nothing
Savage.
nothing obvious.
Savage.
So yeah, to make your way out into the street and then try and make your way up onto the rooftop, you're going to be within the aimless for now, though you don't know how they'll react if they were to see you, but you'll be within striking distance of several zombies.
I can run. I can disengage. I'm fine. Hondo and Gord, it's up to you how you want to get there. And I'm going to start running.
Okay. Mary just takes off out of the doors of the mausoleum.
I'll push the carpet after her, but fly up.
Okay. So on the carpet, Val, Lavender, Brawley, Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So Gord and Hondo, how do you guys proceed?
We walk.
Okay.
There are zombies.
There's a fuckload of zombies out there, but you can.
How many hit points do you have?
Solidarity with Hondo.
I have 60, I think. 60 or 60.
Okay.
You're
Gord,
fine.
how many hit points do you have?
I got a 6 of 87.
Oh
Okay.
my god, Brock, you might want to
So
not walk.
Yeah, he's like in a rough
Oh
spot.
my god. How many
It's
animal
like-
shapes do you have?
2 hits and you're gonna die.
I think you have all your animals though, right?
Let me check.
You just
I think,
fly.
I think he might only have 1 left. Because he used 1 to... Oh no, you just used
Oh,
spider
I got
climb.
Yeah.
I think you have both.
I do.
Regardless, with your Hondo and Mary, I need you guys to both make athletics checks. And Gord, if you wish to make your way out into the swarm, I need you to make an athletics check. However, I will straight up tell you, you're gonna get hit if you make your way out there, and you probably won't make 6 hit points.
Just be an animal, fly.
You're
Fly.
probably safer off to disengage in some manner.
I know, I'll change into a camo, and then Hondo, you can ride me.
Yeah.
Through the horde of zombies?
And I got a 10.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You might want to do. Well, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but just being a camel walking through a bunch of zombies might not be the best play.
Hey, I don't tell you how to play.
Well, I only got 1 spell slot left to bring someone back, so.
Don't worry, I'm on his back. I'll swat away the zombies. He's clear.
In your move, Mary, what was your athletics?
It was a 23.
Mary, you make your way through to the wall, taking 6 points of damage. As even disengaging as you approach, they do manage to strike. There are enough of them to make a strike. Likewise, Hondo and Gord's camel form, you do also manage to incur a couple of hits, and the 2 of you, with an unfortunately lower athletics, you take 17 points of damage.
Can I dodge it?
Yeah, you can use your reaction to dodge it.
Yeah.
So you take half, which is 9? 8.
I'll take 8.
I was going to change it to an eagle. Is it too late for that?
You can do it now if you wish before the damage hits. Gord takes off into eagle form as Mary and Hondo, you make your way, begin to climb the face of these buildings. Hondo, it takes you a little bit more work. You're a little bit more exhausted than you expect, and the climb is a little bit more arduous, but you make your way to the rooftops. And easy enough between your abilities and Gord flying and the carpet flying. You guys begin to fly and make your way across the rooftops over the now dispersing sea of undead and the swiftly moving in Red Guard's forces. You can see it seems like the Red Guard are retaking their position handily.
Keep pushing, try and get to their line and get to the Soul Forge.
Okay. Easily, again, all of you flying, and then even your fly speed and Marion Hondo's movement speed on their own, you guys can make it up into the over all of the zombies and the danger, and back out towards the Soul Forge, up towards the Soul Forge, I should say, towards the keep. It does take about a half hour, give or take, if I remember correctly, a half hour to the keep, and then once you get up within the keep, you can see as you make your way towards through the Crown District and into the keep itself, there seems to be an air of success. There's an air of we've won this bout, and things seem to be on the upswing. Though it does not appear the populace is well aware, or even the guards at the whole are aware that their leaders are down. Another 10 minutes, and you make your way down once more into the cavernous hall of the Soul Forge, and settling in within its actual hall at the base of the symbol of Moradin. 45 minutes in, after your battle, you finally get a moment to rest.
Keep Brawley on the carpet, but just kind of like land it right by that statue. And then I'll take out Heartbreaker off, but just start pacing and being like, okay, I only did this once before and it didn't work, but I think I'm going to try again and see what happens. Then I'll go up to Brawley. I'll like sit on my knees and I'll look at the other people and be like, does anyone want to say anything before I do this?
Just get her back.
Just make it quick. You're taking too long.
Okay. Great feedback. Thank you.
There are zombies out there.
Yeah, appreciate that.
We just fucking owe it to her, okay? We just need to.
Okay.
It's safe in here. I'll
From
do a
what
quick.
I know about this thing, you said it didn't work last time for you. I don't know, I wasn't there, but I've learned a couple things about this, and you need to give them a reason to want to come back. Don't you guys give a crap about this girl right here?
Of course, I give a crap about my friend.
Well, then vocalize it, Mary, or she's not going to come back.
Just a suggestion. But what if we wait till after the battle?
Wait, no, we gotta do this now. Can't wait.
What if, what if you die? Well, what are we gonna do?
What?
Is there any guard presence around here? Like, has there been on our way in, or any
On the way through? Yeah, there's a ton of guards. But as you make your way to the Soul Forge, as instructed, the Soul Forge is more or less empty, save for Baldora and Baldric, who are on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Of the symbol that you stand, the statue that you stand or kneel in front of. And Thor is with you, who's kind of the authority figure currently, and he's just kind of not really engaging with you and just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. This is a little beyond him, and he's just kind of watching and silently grieving.
Thor, can you get
Okay.
us a status update? Can you find out what's happening?
I can, but if there's something to happen here,
All right.
yes, I will. And he leaves.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my dragon tooth necklace. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to put it in Brawley's hand. And I'm going to say, all right, you have to come back. You saved my life. You saved everyone's life here too many times. And we can't do this shit without you. So you have to come back because we have unfinished business. I don't even know what your full name is now, if you're Alana Brawwyn or if you're Alana Redmayne. But what I know is I'm the Heartbreaker, and you're not allowed to break our hearts. So this better fucking work. And then I'm going to cast Raise Dead.
With Heartbreaker's hilt in hand, yet to ignite the blade, and with your impassioned speech, you begin to utter the arcane words and go through the motions of the ritual of Raise Dead. It takes a fair amount of time, and as all of you kind of begin to settle into the hour-long process of Raise Dead, those of you not casting could take a short rest. So everyone but Allie and Valentine, if you wish to. If not,
I'll fly down and change back into Gore. It's
Okay.
rest.
I love that this whole time he's just a bird doing laps along with.
I like to imagine he perched in a very high position and just was kind of watching. Absolutely. Yeah, you can start going through the motions, taking a short rest. If you have any hit die left, you can heal up, and if you get any spells back, all that jazz. But
I'll just stand by her head and finally stare at her, Valentine.
with the majority of your party watching over Alana's form, Valentine, you slip deeper and deeper into the near trance-like state that comes over you as you weave through the lines of life and death. You feel a warmth spread across you like that of a warm summer's day. This breeze kind of ripples through your hair, drawn from somewhere beyond this plane, and you feel the Summer Queen guide your consciousness from this plane and then on to another. You open your eyes, and though you have not moved, you see two worlds, two sides of a border between life and death. Directly ahead of you, from your kneeled position, you see Alana's body in front of you, and over top of it, you see out across a snow-crusted ridge overlooking a massive hall beneath a sky of a million stars and a roaring rainbow aurora. Ahead of you, at the base of this ridge, you can see two flame-haired dwarven figures just shy of a massive golden bridge that would lead into this hall. You hear the sounds of raucous laughter and a welcoming fire that fills the air from this hall. But at this borderline, as you kind of turn and look back where you see the rest of your party within the Soul Forge, you are not alone. A voice creeps through. I know your face. You've nearly crossed my path many times, but never long enough to properly meet. As you turn fully, still within your kneeling position, but turning your upper body, you face the source of this voice and see a dark-clad figure standing between the divided line of the material plane and one beyond. Black feathered wings stretch wide, the tips of which on one side brush the snow of a mountain on the opposite side, and the other just gently sweeps the hair from your cheek. This porcelain-skinned face, white as the falling snow, framed by straight black hair, sits perfectly still, despite whipping winds. Her form is shrouded, hard to properly identify, through billowing shadow and gently swirling arcane energy that forms small motes of light that kind of drift through the shadow and around her wings and face in perpetual spinning motion. All of you within the hall see this figure standing kind of half in shadow that has no source of light and half visible. Though her and Valentine seem engaged in conversation, you can't hear this. You would call upon death to return that which was rightfully taken. You, Valentine Flurwild, presume to challenge the sanctity of the afterlife and recall Alana Brawwyn. Is this correct?
Yes, though if I may,
You may
feel like
not.
the
I guide those who pass on to their final destinations. Her soul has reached its rightful place. To return it may cause unforeseen ripples in the balance of all things. I know not the future, but I do know death, and there must always be balance. However, if you intend to go through and return her, then balance we must find. A loss to balance your gain. You and the departed's troop, you may make a single offering. Perhaps a deal may be struck. Otherwise, to balance order and death, chance may be embraced.
A soul for a soul.
If that is your offer, it is your choice. What you think fairly represents balance. If we can come to no agreement, there are other ways. As I say, in the face of law and order, chance and chaos may be embraced.
Those are two of my favorite words. I would just say, there are things happening on this plane. They're trying to make this the 10th layer of hell. The ways in which Alana were brought here were by someone bringing back the dead soul to murder her, to bring her to that other side. There are corrupting forces at play here that we're trying to put right. And I swear to you, if you give her us back, we will do everything in our power to give you the soul of the person who's doing this.
Your position in the battles between Asmodeus and Bahamut is well known to the Raven Queen, and I, as her servant, disregard it. We serve only balance. We cannot favor one side over the other, despite its position.
All right, well, listen, I'm not going to murder anyone to just bring back my friend. You chose the wrong guy to talk to from this party. So, what chaos or chance did you have in mind?
You choose no offer and you choose to embrace chance then.
Yep.
Very well. I am no judge nor executioner. I simply keep balance between life and death, between chaos and order. And as your offer, or lack thereof, does not balance the scales, hope is not lost. She flicks her wings, and with a twitch, you see feathers, 20 feathers kind of fly off into space around you, and they kind of are all kind of revolving around you. The rest of you watch as these, and Valentine, watch as these 20 feathers kind of shift and form into the faces of cards. Amidst a seemingly shifting inky darkness of these beautifully illustrated cards, on the backs you see two crescent moons in opposite waxing and waning positions. They sit top and bottom, above and below a centrally outline of a raven with opalescent eyes that glare out from the center of these cards. The faces of the cards are all black as night. She says to you, I offer you the deck of the Raven Queen. Those of your party, or you, if you so choose, who are willing to make a sacrifice for your friend may draw a card. Within this deck there are 20 cards. 5 of them will allow your friend to return without quarrel. 5 bring her back at a slight cost. 9 others bring her back, but the cost is much greater. The last leaves her in eternal rest forevermore. You have as many chances as you have souls. However, allowing destiny to guide your hand is not for the faint of heart. The fates decide. I am simply the courier.
So we get to draw one. Does it cost us our soul to do this, or just one chance to do this?
Your fate is decided by the card. I cannot give you answers one way or the other until afterwards.
Does the rest of the group hear this?
Yeah, that's my question. Have we actually heard all of this conversation?
You guys have started to hear once the offer was turned down and the cards were feathers turned to cards. You heard all of the exposition of the offer of the deck of the Raven Queen, the costs, the 5 cards that return without quarrel, 5 at slight cost, 9 at great cost, and 1 of eternal rest.
I'll turn to the group if I can see them now. I guess I can see like both. I'm drawing one for sure. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm gonna draw one.
Val, if this hurts you, you are the reason that everyone... You're the reason this group is a fucking group, and if something happens, they can't take you, and I'll stand up.
The angel
We can do
makes
multiple
some-
though, right?
Well,
Yeah,
we're gonna do one at a time and see what happens.
So how does the out of game? The multiple, it's just more like, if we pick one and it's the, oh no, fuck, she's dead, we get another chance? Or...
There
Okay.
are multiple.
We just don't know. Okay.
I'm not gonna tell anybody. Like, I'm
Okay,
not gonna explain how it works.
that's fine. I was just wondering if I was misunderstanding something.
No,
But,
there.
okay.
You're gonna. Whoever first goes, we'll see what happens. It could immediately work. Something could happen, and it might not work. So there are multiple chances, multiple paths which this goes down, but we go one at a time, and typically there should only be one roll from whoever decides to offer the sacrifice.
Look, I'm the reason she's fucking dead.
Look, I'm the newest one to this group. I have never felt like I belonged anywhere. This guy keeps trying to ask me if I want to leave, but Brawley has always been there for me, especially when we had really hard times. So it makes sense that now that her sister, her real sister, is actually dead, that her actual, now metaphorical sister, stand up. Mary, just kidding. I will do it.
Lav, we can't ask you to do that.
What?
We can't ask you to do that.
You're not asking me for the last time. Will someone please just see that I'm part of this group? Stop asking me to leave. Stop saying that I am not here to be able to make my own decision for this. I'm telling you, I'm not asking. Can I pick a card, please?
The cards are just kind of floating in the air around you. Do you reach out and grab one?
Yes.
Okay, roll a d20.
Oh, shit.
You guys watch as Lavender, impassioned, reaches out and plucks a card from midair, and as you grab it, what number?
15.
As you grab it, you grab it and the face of it is just pure black. However, as you hold on to it, it begins to kind of fade away, and within the center of it, you see the symbol of a star beneath a singular star within a aurora and beautiful sky above. It says at the base of it, the star. The angel to Valentine's side says, "The gods seem to smile upon you all." And you see at your feet, Valentine, or at your knees, Alana takes a breath and returns. The dust of the gem dust, diamond, turns to dust, and the card that you held turns to dust in your hand as well. The 19 remaining cards all begin to turn back to feathers and kind of slip into the shadow of this figure's form. And she says, "The fates seem on your side, Wildcards. I'm sure we'll meet again." And the two worlds return to one, and she is gone. But Alana has returned. You are at 1 hit point.
Thunder collapses to her knees, holds Alana's foot, and just starts bawling her eyes out.
I just Alana sits up and just starts crying.
You feel horrible pain, and it all washes away as you look down and have a fleeting memory of what you saw in the beyond. And for the last moment of your time across the plains, you felt Baldora grip tight to your hand before you were pulled back to your form. And as you kind of sit up, that pain of physical pain turns to like a heartbreak, and you feel just full weight of everything that has come over the last couple of days. And it is an ordeal that you will have to deal with. From game terms, you have a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Valentine will just fall backwards and just fall on his back. And just exhale.
I'm gonna do that stress thing where like something finally good happens, like when we played in real life, and I get up and do that lap. The speed walk lap, and then come back to the group.
I'll get up, crawl forward a bit, put an arm on Lav, put an arm on Brawley. You're back.
Thank you guys.
You remember the Wildcards forever.
Thank you.
I need to nap for a year or so. Brawley, are you okay? Are you all right? What's going on?
Thank you for bringing me back. I left her, and I promised again that I would be with her. So I have to live with that.
No, you
But
don't.
I'll see her again. At least I know she's safe. And at least I know she's at home with our fallen brothers and our family.
Elena, you don't have to live with it. We have another fucking diamond. And I don't think we can do it today. But you don't have to live with it. You do not have to lose that family. It's your decision. But you have another fucking chance. If Valentine's willing, you have another chance.
Yeah, we can talk about this. That Raven Queen woman scared the shit out of me. I don't know if we want to keep fucking with this, but I'll do whatever you want, Brawley.
I couldn't ask you guys to do that after already messing with it.
Yes, you can, Elena. That is why we are here. Okay, you took the ultimate chance.
I glance at Mary and I like, should we though? Like, for now, why don't we sleep or something, or figure out what's going on with the city, if we still need to rest just a bit and then get back out there. Is Thor back? Where the hell is that guy?
Not yet.
I'll go find him. I'll leave her.
Before we get up, Alana runs up to Lav and just kind of hugs her leg because she's short. She goes, "You'll always be one of us now."
Lavender has no words. She can't say anything.
So
She's
does Amanda.
very tired.
Mary, as you leave the Soul Forge and make your way back into the main keep, you can see the guard presence within the keep has minimalized. There seem to be less preparations done, and more have been sent out into the city. You kind of poke around a little bit, and you do find Thor in the throne room, where he is kind of organizing the remaining captains and still waiting to hear back from certain things. But you see him just still communicating with the captains. But there seems to be, especially with your insight, there seems to be an air of momentum that the guard and the side of the Red Keep has attained. And by all intents and purposes, it seems there is no resurgence of Throtir, of Raymond, of Egoth. It seems that for now, the Revenant Vow are not within the city limits.
What time of day is it?
It's hard to tell from inside the keep, but your body clock would probably tell you that it's late in the evening, like
It's been a full day.
It's like 3 a.m.
Oof. Oh, wow. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Okay.
You guys, like, this kicked off at the festival at, like, dinner time,
Mm.
and you guys have been going since then.
Okay. I'll, just to Thor, is there anything, do you need us for anything?
He's kind of sighs, and I think we've won this one. They have no drive. They have no, their leaders have absconded. No magic has been seen for some time, at least since our return. But their undead are falling to us en masse now. We've run them back through. They're trying to scatter through the tunnels, but we're sending all of our fresh troops down to just mow them out. None will stand.
Good. Thank you.
For the time, I think you have earned a rest. Keep me informed as to what happens to our leadership.
For now, our friend is back. She deserves a rest.
Lady Alana.
Yes, let's continue to keep that quiet for now.
I don't know how long I can keep it quiet. By morning, we have to say something.
I know. We'll figure it out then. For now, I think none of us can think straight.
He kind of looks around almost sheepishly, and most of the guards have kind of left at this point. You came in as they were finishing, and he kind of nods at one last one who's kind of tailing behind to leave, and he kind of leans into you and says, "Can you bring her back?"
I'm not sure yet. I'd like to try, but it's not up to me. For now, we're just going to be thankful for what we have, and we'll regroup in the morning. Thank you for protecting her when you could. I'm sorry, I'm consistently short with you.
I'm consistently short with everyone.
Story of my fucking life, and I'll just walk off. So we had rooms here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
They're kind of up in this area towards the throne. There's a wing off of the kind of passage towards the throne room that is a long hall of bed chambers and kind of water closets and things like that.
Okay.
But you guys did have a place that you slept. So, but you return back to the Soul Forge to the rest of your group. What's the plan?
We need to rest.
What'd you say?
We need to rest.
I said Pinterest.
Yes, Pinterest. We just build our dream kitchen all night.
Pin it. Okay, I think we definitely rest. Yeah, do we even make it back to rooms? I guess so. I guess we could go up to our rooms.
Alana looks like she could sleep in a bed. You kind of look like shit, and I'll just help her up.
Yeah, I could use an actual sleep that doesn't include eternal slumber.
That seems fair. I think you earned it. I'll be up shortly. I'm just gonna chill here in the Soul Forge for a bit.
Okay. As the rest of you make your way up towards the rooms alongside Alana.
I'll just nod, wait, go last, and then just give Valentine a nod. Let us know when you're on your way back up. Leave with the rest.
I'll click out Heartbreaker and just put it on the ground in front of me. And then I got 1/4 left, so I'm going to summon Fern back.
No.
Is that an hour or 10?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
And while I do it, I'm just going to be like praying to the Summer Queen and saying thank you for watching over us.
As you click on Heartbreaker and begin your summoning ritual, pulling Fern back from the Fae, you see through Heartbreaker's light as it's kind of your focus to the spell, and you start the beginning of your 10 minutes in like quiet contemplation and running through the ritual and arcane words of the prayer and of the spell, but your eyes are kind of forced open as through the light of Heartbreaker you see your patron in this kind of effervescent light beyond the plains, and she just kind of smiles at you, and you feel like a wind, and through the wind in your ear you hear, "I'm proud of you, my Heartbreaker."
I'll just like smile, like real sheepish, and nod. Thank you.
10 minutes pass, and you watch as this small doorway of kind of growing rose flowers that quickly grows in a quick little circle and expands vastly. Fern bounds through and collapses into you, just dive bombing you, licking your face, and then regaining composure, sits up proudly as the door closes behind, leaving behind a single rose of golden petals.
Buddy. And I'll just nuzzle and be like, all right, we gotta go to bed. I'm so sorry this keeps happening to you.
He just kind of nuzzles into you.
Man, we had a hell of a day. I'll tell you about it when we get to our room. And then I'll walk up and try and push the door open so you can fit through.
As you make your way up, it's a little squeeze, but it's doable.
And I think I'll just awkwardly look back with a grimace at the queen. And then just leave.
Is there anything any of you are doing as you retire for the evenings, or just headed straight to sleep?
I think that's it for me. Hondo, shadowboxing, a couple of hours.
Wait.
Hondo gets about 10 minutes of shadowboxing before collapsing.
I'll make sure Olin is set in our room, and then I'll quickly run out and track down Keith.
Okay.
And bring him up to the room.
It takes a little bit of doing. He's out in the at the Champions Guild house, but he is very obedient, and he comes as called and is directed. And you get some weird looks from the guard detail, but things are weird around here right now. No one does anything.
Never seen a fucking goat before?
You yell at one of these guards who's just like, "Oh, I mean, of course I have." He just kind of looks
Can
away.
I go to Lavender's room before bed?
Sure.
Get a little knock.
Hello?
Just half your face showing.
Okay, dude, I'm tired.
Listen,
What?
This will be quick. You're welcome here as long as you want. I will never, ever, none of us will forget what you just did. That was wild. So you belong in the Wildcards. I just want to say I was never trying to kick you out, never trying to push you out. We're just on literally a collision course with hell, and I just never wanted you to feel like you're tied down to our destiny, but I think you chose our destiny today.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. I know that we have gotten off to a
Pretty good start.
pretty interesting start.
Pretty good, I'd say.
You've helped me along the lines as well, and I respect you like a
What's that word you're trying to say?
I don't know, I never had one of them before.
Friend?
No, it starts with a B. What is it?
Bro? Bud? Brosive?
Yeah. Go on the line, brother.
Like a brother.
Like a brother. But just so you know, when people have brothers, they still make fun of them. So
Okay.
expect that.
I have brothers, I have sisters, so...
Okay, stop bragging, okay? I got to go to bed. But thank you very much. I really appreciate that because that was getting really freaking annoying.
Okay, one more thing. I'll just put my hand on the door.
Yes.
You're pretty charming. You're pretty good with your words. If you want, I could show you a thing or two about how to weave some of your arcane stuff into that. And then I'll shut the door.
Ow! Oh.
And I'll walk away.
I'll open the door and be like, I want to learn how to heal people. I don't want to have to rely on anybody. Okay, good night.
Good night, Lavender.
Okay. You guys finally find your way to bed.
Walk up with Keith.
4 a.m. Val, as you return to your room, Mary walks up the stairs with Keith. And you both kind of share a nod and a glance. And Keith returns to the room with Alana and Mary.
I just look at Mary and I go, Mary, thank you. And she's had like years of repression of like not crying it's all coming out. And she just lets it all out, hugs Keith, is like, but trying not to make it awkward that even though Mary's in the room.
Oh no, Mary's like sitting just sits on the bed and is very much trying to hold it together and failing miserably. just completely. Yeah.
And since it's just the two of us, I turn to Mary and I go, we will keep this between ourselves.
Yep. The boys never have to
They will never know.
They will never know. It'll be fine. We'll just we'll be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good night.
Valentine is just
Night.
openly wailing in his room. God.
With that, you finally fall asleep together in your own rooms, but together. And we'll take a quick break.
Hey.
Yay.
My heart,
Brawly!
I'm back.
my heart was
Thanks,
racing.
everybody.
I could feel it in my chest, just like hammering my ribcage.
As we return, in the night's rest, Valentine, Hondo, Alana, Gordon, Mary, you are awoken from sleep by blinding light from beyond your doorway. This brilliant white light silhouettes the door and fills the room with the light of a blazing sun. Where fear initially grips you that the Vow have returned, that fear dissipates, and a cooling calm spreads across you. As the door opens and from beyond, you hear birds chirping, the rustle of a welcoming wind, and calm washes over you once more. Something draws you forward as if you're in a waking dream, and you step through the door. The light blinds you for a moment. You take a moment to allow your vision to focus. And you look across as your vision kind of comes to once more, and you see the Wildcards, save Lavender, unfortunately. And you look out across a mountain, across a glittering landscape of crystal lakes and verdant hills. From high above here, you can feel the whispering wind carrying aloft clouds of gold and silver. A heavy thud of movement atop the snowy mountain you stand on draws your attention back to the present, and you gape at the magnificent creature before you. Immense in scale, the platinum dragon Bahamut towers and lowers his head in your direction. The platinum of his scales glimmer with a rainbow hue like sunlight on an oil slick. He looks across you all with wise and deeply sorrowful eyes and says, "It is long overdue, our time to speak, champions. A monumental task has been placed on your shoulders, and without explanation or much encouragement, you donned the names of heroes and rose to the challenge. A calling larger than yourselves, and one of sacrifice and pain in the pursuit of balance. My name is Bahamut. You may know me as the Platinum Dragon. To most of you, this is our first and likely only interaction. To maintain this connection across the plains is not an easy feat, but your sacrifices in a fight you knew little about warrants explanation and encouragement. So if you'll indulge me, allow me to explain." His massive frame, this massive ancient, beyond ancient dragon, shifts and lowers, seemingly shrinking in size, to one less imposing and more welcoming. He settles in to the ground, to the snow, and his wings fold behind his back. And as they do, the wind across the mountaintop dies down to nothing. Pure silence falls across the mountaintop, with the exception of 4 little golden-looking birds that flutter about and chirping and then land across the scaled ridge of his head and neck. Everything within our realms is created with the balance of forces in all forces, and your home is the epicenter of it all. There, the outer planes find their anchor to reality and to time as we know it. A reality you all need to become aware of now. Where the outer planes are defined by their alignment and purpose, the material plane is one free from restriction. Law and chaos intertwine, neutrality is freely accepted and simultaneously looked down upon. Good and evil run rampant in their own ways. He kind of casts a wise glance across you all. In the beginning, the first gods crafted the world you call home, but it was the Fates who crafted time and purpose for all those who would exist in this space. A vibrant weave of destiny that all life would be woven into. As each eon passed, new creations were born, new threads added. The woven weave of time and fate. And it spread far and it spread wide. It became unfathomable to even a mind as powerful as a god's. It grew so large, a focus was needed to keep it from imploding on itself. Thus, a tether was created. A heartstring was woven through the weave, a through line that all eventualities and possibilities would in time wind back to. It is in this balance that time and life as you know it is free to exist. And once in place, the material realm grew in power and stability. Within the weave, evil and good are in coexistence. Both are needed for the balance to be maintained. As one would overtake the other, the weave would bend in its direction. But that heartstring ensured that balance would once again be found, lest the weave break and all of time and reality be unwoven. This heartstring has allowed for a somewhat cyclical nature of good and evil to occur, and has taken many forms over the eons, from its beginning battling titans of raw energy, taming them to be controlled, to become inspiration and ideas when progress is needed. But most often, it was woven into the hearts of those who are destined for great deeds, the heartstrings of heroes and villains. This does not mean your paths are forged for you. Your position as part of the material plane grants you your freedom to choose a path, but your choices will mean more. Your eventualities are as those who came before you, the heroes of old. Some like to think of this as a cycle of reincarnation. Some prefer to look at your choices as predestined, and thus your end is predestined, live or die. I will neither preach my preference nor dismiss your view. It is your reality after all. You are the chosen few the weave has woven her heartstring into, and it is you who are burdened with that power. I explain this long-winded explanation to you now, perhaps too late, perhaps too soon, because for the first time since the reckoning, the weave has split. A great divide has been woven into the fabric of our realms. So heavily are the sides of good and evil weighted that fate itself cannot see how this ends. As he speaks, you watch the ground beneath and heading towards you, a fissure, begin to form in the mountaintop. And it splits you both, your group, onto two sides, and he kind of sits right at the apex of this crack. The day Tharsden broke the plains, shattered worlds, the weave tore. On one half, Tharsden reigned as a mad god, powerful beyond comprehension, imbued with madness so palpable the world bent around him in horrid ways. With each step, realms beyond ours tore through and horrid monstrosities ruled, devouring the material plane. The outer planes became lost, untethered, only to be swallowed whole by the very power Tharsden wielded. And yet, on the other side, a world where the mad god was defeated by champions of Vesaria, imbued with bravery, strength, and honor, champions of this realm who fought for good and for evil, balancing the chaos of Tharsden with an order of their own making. It was they who balanced the realm, they who slayed the Titan, not the gods. the heroes who rewove the weave once more. The crack between you all suddenly refills with a flash of golden light. It reforms, and you find balance once more. Whatever path you choose, know none other than you can make the call. And I believe you will thwart and rebuke Asmodeus and his following. When he comes, you will face him, and together you will have the strength to end it. He rises slightly once more and looks towards the horizon, and you see the light kind of dim and fade slightly. But he returns back down, and with a warm smile, though still imposing on the face of an ancient dragon, he looks to you, first to Alana, and then across to all of you, lingering slightly on each of you. You all fought well for the people of Hammerstock, and you will fight again. But do well to remember why you fight. Remember those who came before you. Remember those who are around you worth fighting for now. And always remember the tenets of a hero's call. Respect for righteousness, to act with vigilance when innocent come to harm. Show mercy to your foes, but punish those who harm the virtuous, and have the courage to act when confronted by evil and tyranny in the name of justice. It is true your path forward will be even more challenging, but together you will spread good deeds and balance the darkness done by the vow, and in hope inspire others to do the same. A cool breeze sweeps through you all, breaking the silence that Bahamut called upon you, and he once more looked to the horizon where you can see a light kind of begin to dim even further. Our commune wanes, unfortunately, but one last reminder. These seals are the antithesis to which I and the Dragon Guard hold dear. The first seal broken balancing the sanctity of life and death. The second broken when condemnation was chosen over mercy as the result of gravely evil deeds. The last seal broken by the challenge every group of heroes must face, the challenge of sacrifice in the face of great evil. Finally, you will face the fourth and the culmination of all you've learned. The final seal will deal with all three and be a battle of life and death. And should it be broken, that gate will open. Asmodeus will set foot where the gods have been banished for millennia. He will be more powerful than ever before, but so should you be. Should that day come, you will find a way to strip him of his divinity, to disrupt the flow of his hell gate, and reclaim your home. Together, you are strong. Together, you will succeed. Kind of rears back up on his hind legs, and his arms stretch wide and his wings stretch wider. And he lets loose a roar that wind whips you back, and this multi-hued energy thrusts you back through the doorway of your rooms, and you return to your forms. Though you do not spring awake, you sleep a calm, restful sleep, almost forcibly so. But you awake feeling more powerful than you have ever before. And each of you have leveled up to level 13 and level 10 for Lavender. So let's do a little recap of what you all got as you come to. Let's start with Valentine.
Valentine took another level in Bard, so just got a couple more spells that I'll bust out whenever the need arises.
Okay. Lavender with your level 10.
Lavender also leveled up to a Bard and is becoming again self-sufficient, as she always has wanted, with being able to add some healing power to the group.
Okay.
She also has quite a bit of trickery now up her sleeve.
Yeah, which she never had before.
Yeah. Alana.
I took a level 5 barb, and my hit points are now Wow, 163. Holy. And yet my charisma is still -1. Can you imagine?
And you're like the cuddliest, nicest person ever.
Yeah.
No.
You're just really bad at convincing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muscles.
We don't need another charisma-based motherfucker in this group. All right.
You and me, Allie.
Yeah. Yes.
Hondo?
Bard, I took a level up. I'm now proficient in the School of Whispers.
Mm-hmm. College of
And-
Whispers.
I took Thunderwave as a spell
Nice.
and Invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's great, Hondo.
Those are good, and yeah, you get some cool abilities with the College of Whispers at level 3. Inflict a little bit more psychic terror into your foes, which fits very well, I think, for Hondo's style.
That'll make you sneak in the morning after the bar, Hondo.
Mary?
Level 10 fighter. And I got some cool new maneuvers to try out. And my, what are they called? My maneuver dice, who have a name, that I can't remember, they're D10s now instead of D8s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a good level.
Good stuff. And Gord, finish us off.
I took level 7 Warlock. I now got 96 hit points.
Hell yeah.
Almost at 100. Man, Kyle, you are so fuzzy.
I know, I'm trying not to, like, impede this, but now I have to, like, pull this forward and, like, hey, focus on me here. Come on, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Those pearly blues. Still in the 80s, guys. 87 for this guy. Right? Let me refresh this.
I thought you were 92.
Maybe I am. Let me refresh.
Yeah, refresh.
How's its weakest link?
Well, yeah.
Did it refresh okay?
Just taking it sweet time.
Okay.
Yeah, 92. Great.
Hey, there you go. All right. So, feeling stronger than ever and still with fresh memories of some very traumatic and powerful events. Though for most of you, a hopeful message of encouragement and strength from a very powerful ally. You all awake? What do you do?
Let's all get together and have some breakfast. I'll go to the girl room, knock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys have that dream?
What dream?
Dream big dragon? Split up the land,
Oh.
told us how.
You did too?
Yeah!
Oh, good. Okay. I thought it was just an after effect of dying.
Oh, well, maybe. I mean, we all. Mary and I died too, so I don't know. That could be.
To be fair, I think we've all died, though none
I'm
quite
not
as
glad-
semi-permanent as you.
I'll go get Lav. Knock and Lav, sir. Knock, knock, knock. Yo, get up.
Oh, shit.
I gotta teach you some cool bard stuff today, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Let's do this. I am hungry. Have you caught anything for breakfast?
Caught anything? Where do you think we are?
So sorry, I'm so used to just traveling on my own, not having much money.
Oh, well. We have a lot of money. Nice brag. Okay, I'm gonna get the other boys, and then let's just meet for breakfast and figure out what the hell we're doing. Gordon? Gord?
Yes.
Hey, pal, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. Did you have a dream last night?
No, I don't dream.
Oh. Okay, well, that's fine. We were all gonna have breakfast. I was just wondering if you wanted to come have
Cats
breakfast.
don't dream.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't need to presume. Like I don't want to speak for you. You know, you go through whatever you go through. So.
Thanks.
Anyway, what is that? Okay, great. So I'm gonna go get Hondo, and then I'll meet you at breakfast downstairs.
Sounds good.
Great. Best friends, and I'll run off to Hondo's room.
I love the
I-
fucking, like, morning call-up service. What's it called? Wake-up call service?
Yeah, wake up service.
I kick open the door.
Make a strength check.
Oh fuck.
Or athletics, sorry.
Athletics. Okay, it's 6 plus 3 is 9.
You hoof the door as hard as you can, and you crack your leg so bad.
Mary flies out of the room holding a sword. What the fuck happened?
He's trying to do the Hondo thing where he opens doors. Fuck it. My leg hurts so much.
Your knee is just in so much pain as you like step back down. Like you are having a real tough time putting weight on it. You're gonna have some disadvantage, and negative. You're gonna lose 10 feet of speed for a little bit.
Ooh.
Oh
I'm
no!
gonna try and heal through it at breakfast, but that's fine.
What is going on? Why you kick my door?
Oh my god, isn't that alarming when someone does that?
Leave the door kicking to the expert, okay?
I remember vaguely as I'm like putting my swords away, getting an arm under Val. I vaguely remember someone kicking a stone door when we were in the abyss, and then fucking up his ankle, and then doing it again, and then fucking up his knee.
It's okay. I'm light on my feet. I can go with one ankle.
Okay, all right. Let's get you downstairs.
Yeah, let's go get breakfast. I'm gonna hop on front because I can't move.
You guys, where do you guys head for breakfast?
But yeah, what even is this town?
I assume, despite the town being destroyed, we would all have breakfast together. Let's go to where... Did we have breakfast here once before?
You guys had breakfast on the stone anvil outside the throne room with Baldora and Baldric and everybody prior to the Moonweaver Festival. But there was no indication that there would be any breakfast thrown this morning. You can certainly find out. But as you guys exit your hallway, you can see the hall beyond, back towards the throne room and back towards the intersecting kind of main section of halls of the keep, is in relatively busy movement. You see guards and kind of people moving about the keep halls in relatively rushed pace, though less rushed and feverish as when they were in battle. There just seems to be a lot going on, as you would expect.
Well, we got rations. Why don't we head to the stone anvil, see what's going on, and then we can just camp out there and have our own little breakfast, talk about what we want to do today. Sound good?
Sure. You guys make your way towards the throne room, and as you guys enter the throne room, you do see Thor and Kildred there, and they are in deep, quiet conversation, though you can tell, and Mary absolutely can tell, but most of you even can tell, it is an argument that they are trying to keep under wraps. They are as quiet yelling as dwarves can be against one another in Dwarvish, so only really Lavender and Alana can understand what it is being said. But as you enter, it quickly comes under wraps, and Thor storms out off onto the stone anvil, and Kildred looks to you all, looks to Alana, does like a three-quarter bow, and then begins to walk past you, head out back into the main portion of the keep.
Kildred, before you go.
Yeah, yes.
Just wanted to thank you for coming with us last night.
Of course, however Lady Alana requests, I will act.
Yeah, we really missed you at the end there.
With Alana down, I thought it more prudent to seek backup, as I had assumed you would fail. But thankfully you did not, so good to see you.
What was that about with Thor just there?
Oh, just old dwarves fighting as they do.
Kyle, did Brawley or I hear any signature words from that conversation?
You guys would have picked up, you would have heard like Baldora being thrown around, and nothing like, it's one of those things where like you can hear a conversation happening almost through like a wall, like a muffled wall, where you can kind of make out more tone than anything. Exactly. Like it seemed aggressive from Thor and defensive from Kildred, but you gauge that between the two of you, gauge Baldora as being the main focus, I suppose, of the argument, but no specifics as to what side.
Are you okay? It sounds like you're having a little bit of a spicy conversation.
We are hot-tempered, serving the red main line. You learn to be a little short with people. That's all.
And you learn how to tiptoe around conversation. Always so good to see you, Kildred.
Absolutely, you as well. Goodbye.
Without that.
And he just kind of, again, nods to Alana before leaving, departing from you. Looking out towards the stone anvil, you can see Thor is kind of standing at the very tip of the spear, so to speak, kind of looking off over the outer city. But you do see a somewhat eaten into spread of breakfast foods on a table out there. It does look like it's been here for a little while. You guys, as you look outside and taking in the sunlight, you have slept in a fair ways today, needing significant rest, going to bed very late, and needing to recuperate. You gauge that you're close to like 11, 12 o'clock, which is pretty late in the day for a D&D medieval adventure.
Oh, wow.
Let's go up to Thor. I'll trot us up to Thor in that breakfast spread.
The breakfast spread is kind of midway down the stone anvil length, which is pretty lengthy in its expanse. And as you exit the threshold of the throne room out towards outside, immediately guards on either side, you see 4 on either side, and they kind of spin in like a quick defensive maneuver, but they catch themselves and just a little edgy, but nod as they recognize you. They don't give any special attention to Alana, but they recognize your party, and just collectively, you guys are cool, and they just return to guarding. But their clatter of armor has alerted Thor to kind of turn, and he sees you come, and he kind of waves you forward and makes his way to meet you at the breakfast table, or what's left of it anyways. You can see a pretty picked over selection of relatively cold meat and eggs, cold bread, butter, some cheese, and some
Coffee.
there's a little bit of coffee. It's cold. It's pretty cold.
I don't give a shit. All the coffee.
But there are
All the
some
fucking
jugs of coffee and water that are on that you do see like a small there's like a small brazier that goes along with the coffee, but it's just gone cold, so in theory you could heat the coffee back up, but you just have to do that. But it's cold right now.
It's like the shitty continental breakfast where you get there like 5 minutes before it's over.
Yeah it kind of sucks, but it's better than nothing. But Thor greets you all and says, "We thought it best not to wake you. You served us incredibly well, and you handled what you had to handle properly. You deserve to rest."
Appreciate that. Thor, is your father okay?
He is resting. He sustained a little bit of damage in battle. He always acts younger in battle than his body actually is. He overdid himself a little bit, but nothing that a day's rest will not fix.
Good for him.
Lord Kildred was talking about you being a little bit unreasonable back there. Do you know anything about this?
Well, he's a
Why would
fucking
you say
asshole,
you're-
isn't he?
Pardon me?
I apologize. Kildred and I differ on many matters. His attitude and mine are from different backgrounds and different opinions of things. His of an old world, mine of the one we actually live in.
I like this guy.
That's great. Not great to fight, but that's okay.
Nonetheless, I can, turning to Alanis, I can have more food brought. At this point, we could probably get a jump start on some lunch or something. I can have that brought up here for you. But I will be honest with you, there has been part of the discussion I had with Kildred, but some word through the ranks They're wondering where our leader is. Typically, she would make a speech after a battle, and people are starting to ask questions.
What are you telling them?
As of now, tell them to shut the fuck up. It's not their place to ask where the queen is. It is her business. My rank outranks them, and for the most part, they're listening. However, the word continues.
And what do you propose to do?
What was
Well,
that, brother?
I am overjoyed that you have returned to us. I was not there to properly defend you in death. I failed in my efforts to defend your sister, my queen. As you have been returned, I had hoped to ask a favor of your friends and of yourself to return her as well. It is not our custom, as you know, and as you might surmise, this is the argument to which Gildren and I have engaged in. He believes that as she is gone, she has moved on, and thus should remain. I fear leaving her there. I just don't believe her purpose is over. I apologize, but I would ask that you, if you can, return her to her position.
I'm just trying to judge Elena's reaction.
I want to bring her back. I do. She's alone, and she's scared, and I know that. I was there with her, and I saw her. It's up to you guys, though. I don't want to make this call. I have bias in this. She's my sister. I want to do everything I can to bring her back, but that's just because I'm selfish.
It doesn't make you selfish, Elena. It just means you have a heart.
I don't want to leave her there alone. But I also don't know if she's fully crossed over yet. Val, you'd have to be the one to bring her back. What say you?
We can try. I admit, I don't think the gods like us meddling in what happens here. That being said, I don't like when the other gods fuck with our place either. So we could try. It's just if we try and when we tried to bring you back, they asked for a balance, and we got lucky with lavender. But what if they asked for something this time?
Raleigh, we never asked you. Do you still have that marking on your body after we brought you back?
Oh, I never even checked.
Girl, you gotta look at your parts sometimes. If you're not sure on how bad it is, I don't know. Nobody else is gonna be it for you.
You would have disrobed and doffed your armor before bed. So retroactively, you can easily have said that you do, and I probably had Mary help you check. The sign of the curse has faded. However, you do have a pretty significant scar across your midsection of where the blade pierced into you. It runs from like your lowest rib almost down to your hip. It is a deep, wide scar. I should also note, because you did take a long rest, you're at -3 instead of -4 to all the ability checks, attack rolls, all that jazz. So 1 down. Okay. But each long rest, you will keep reducing that.
Okay.
So you feel a little better today. But the curse seems to have faded with your eventual death, and then your resurrection does not seem to have continued to plague you. But you do have a scar from your fall.
Yeah, I just have a scar, but the mark's gone.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thor looks to you, Valentine, says, I don't know the cost that you speak of. I am willing to pay whatever cost it is. I have no apprehension of laying my life down for her, and I failed to do so twice. I will happily do this time.
Okay. Then, yeah, we can try. You'll come with us and we'll just see what happens.
As long as Lady Alana permits, I'll happily take this.
Okay.
Is this something
Let's do it.
Is this something we could do now?
I'll finish my cup of coffee. Yep. Now we can.
The cold coffee and the dregs, just not sitting super well, but it fits the situation.
I drain the cup and pour another one. Used to shitty coffee.
Then, as you finish the dregs of your coffee and the pitiful breakfast, Thor kind of pulls Alana and kind of begins to lead you guys back towards the Soul Forge. Once more, you walk the halls and make your way to the Soul Forge, down its long, heavy steps, back up into its columned halls. And as you enter, you do see Braun at the opposite side. You see no other patrons, as whether Thor's indication to keep away has maintained, or people are just busy doing other things. There doesn't appear to be anybody else, but Braun is kind of still preparing and messing about with Baldora and Baldric, seemingly doing as instructed to keep them well.
I'm gonna, as we're walking, just kind of lean over to Alana. That's like, holy shit, I don't know how I only just realized that you're a fucking queen.
Yeah, it's hard to take in. Thank goodness not for long, at least, hopefully. It's a little bit
Brawley
of
still
a
has red
stressful
hair?
position to be in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brawley's hair is red as a fire.
I mean, hopefully you can just come visit instead of having to rule a kingdom. I would not want to do that myself, but...
Yeah, it's also part of why I kind of wanted to come back. I don't want to rule a kingdom.
So,
You make your way across, and Braun, happy to see you all, and a little surprised to see Alana back, and just kind of is just looking between everybody, trying to gauge his position, and he decides, I probably shouldn't be here, and just kind of nods and ducks out, leaving just the Wildcards and Thor and the two Fallen in the Soul Forge.
I will look at Brawley and I'll step up to the queen, Eldora, and I'll kneel down again. Do you want to try and help me with this? I don't know if it could help bring her back, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And then I'll start the 1 hour. I'll tell the rest of the group this is going to take a bit of a while, so...
I'm there holding her hand.
And then I'll
As
start casting.
you start casting, this takes I forget how your diamonds are set up. I know you had like 1,100 or something like that.
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, you and Scott or Leah, one of you had it written down. I know you have enough.
We have 2,600 GP worth of diamonds.
Oh, damn. Thought it was way less than that.
What my little sheet says.
In that case, you are now down 1,000, as 2 raised deads is 500 apiece. But regardless, your diamonds placed across her dwarven plate mail, which has been cleaned though you can still see the rift in the armor where Egoth's blade pierced her in almost the precise location that Alana, you feel your scar. It is a weirdly deja vu for both Alana, seeing you as you're now aware of your heritage and your resemblance with Baldora. It's weird to almost look down on your own body laid out dead in the same manner that you were only a few hours ago. And Valentine, you feel the same deja vu, but you look up and you both look across at one another, and each taking one of Baldora's hands. And with Heartbreaker, you begin tracing the arcane sigils and lines about, and uttering the arcane words. And once more, the ritual takes place as everyone else in the chamber kind of takes a position a little further away. Thor remains close, kind of standing arms crossed, basically at her feet, just kind of standing over watching. And once more, you see Valentine as you slip into your trance. You see the split of the two worlds, the one beyond and the one you exist in. And once more, you hear a flutter of feathers and wings as this figure returns to you, this angel of death, servant of the Raven Queen, says, "Well, now this seems a bit much, don't you think?"
A long time no see.
Of course. It seems you come calling once more, looking to balance things of your own.
Yeah, I don't... Listen, I'm a vessel. This was a request. I don't like meddling with the gods, but this seemed unjust, so I was requested, and I'm just following through.
As I said once before, I am no judge nor executioner. I care not. I am only a courier. You wish to bring one back to your side? I need a sacrifice to balance the scales. I assume, given your position, you are not the one to make said sacrifice.
No, not this time.
You see a kind of shimmer of shadow and light, and Allie and the rest of you within the chamber, you see the figure once more present herself. You do not see the split between worlds. That is only for Valentine in the middle of this ritual. But the rest of you see this angelic figure of black wings and shadow present herself once more, and Thor kind of takes a tentative step back before reaffirming himself and stepping forward. And she looks to you all, looking down to Alana with like a kind of a half-cocked grin, and then offers, "I'm willing to take a sacrifice in return of Baldora Redmane. Any of you willing to make said sacrifice or embrace chance? Step forward now." Immediately, Thor moves as close as he's willing to and says, "I am willing. I will be that sacrifice." She turns, and you see the flick of wings, and 19 cards formulate in the air around him and around you all. She offers the same offer to him, and he reaches out to pluck a card. Do one of you guys want to roll, or do you want me to roll?
I want you to roll.
Yeah, I don't want that burden.
You roll a 2.
They're all random. It's not just based on die. I've got
Oh,
it all.
God.
It's all
Scarier.
randomized.
That's even scarier.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Wow, you guys are lucky. Well, luck is
Future.
debatable here, I suppose. Thor reaches out and immediately grabs one of the cards and looks to it and kind of turns it towards this angel. And Alana and Val, you can see where its face was once inky black, you now see a full moon amidst faint cloud, and on the base you can see the moon card. To which the angel of the Raven Queen, the angel of death, smiles once more and says, "Once more the fates are on your side. It seems the Raven Queen smiles on you in one way or another, and I will grant your request." And with a flurry of motion, the wings, everything kind of spins together, the cards retract within her, and in your hand you feel a tightening as Baldora Redmane grasps hold of both of your hands, shoots forward, and with a hand outstretched, calls forth Solonia, but it doesn't come from Allie's side, as her hand is just kind of like empty. But she looks up to you, Alana, and says, "I want that back." But thank you.
All yours. It's all yours.
She jumps forward and just gives you a massive hug. And you watch Thor just kind of break this gruff exterior, and tears stream down the sides of his face as he drops to one knee, bowing his head.
Just slap the back of his shoulder in like a bro-y way.
Good job, bro.
Baldora Redmane stands once more.
Wow. I just give her a really big hug and I say, "See, I told you I wouldn't let you go."
The moon and the star, huh? Oddly fitting.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, Baldora is just kind of lost, but she looks to you, Allie, and just says, "I stood on that side of that bridge for a long time. I don't know if we made the right choice coming back, but I feel good right now, I'll tell you that."
Just enjoy the moment.
I will, and I will enjoy, hopefully, many, many years of moments to have. Thank you. She looks to Valentine. She stands, just kind of groaning a bit, stands, kind of cracking muscles and shifting shoulders, and she kind of pulls you up with her to your feet, and she, like, kind of up on her tiptoes, and kind of you get an idea to bend down. She kisses your cheek. She says, "I would not be here without you. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for my family."
She talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Valentine is speechless. He just is like, yeah.
Okay. And she goes back to Alana. And then again hugs Alana, and then sees Thor and says, "Get on your feet, man. Let's go." And he stands, and they embrace. Yeah, she's just kind of getting used to being back. They have a quick, brief conversation of like what's happening in the city. They kind of step away from you all just to talk about, what the plans of the city are, as you are all allowed a conversation to plan what the fuck your plan is.
Do you guys notice there was 19 cards that time?
Yeah, it looks like we only have 18 more chances.
Not all of those are good chances. Not to say that wasn't worth it. It was well worth it, but let's try not to die next time. You guys cool with that?
Yep, works for me.
Okay, great. I don't know what we're gonna do with this city, but we gotta figure out what the fuck we do next. Hondo, you seem to be itching to get out of here. What do you think?
Hey, there's nothing here for us.
I did buy a lance. I'd really like to pick that up before I go. That's kind of here for me.
Go steal your lance and let's get out of here.
I paid good money for it. And Hondo, you made a real connection with a barkeep here. I think she's waiting for you.
Yeah, I make connections with a lot of ladies. I don't keep roots anywhere, though.
Wait, was that ward okay?
Hondo, don't you care? Did you use protection?
No. Actually,
just running around with a little Hondo baby.
We never talked to her.
Wow. Do you have like abandonment issues that you'd like to address? Or we're all like in a safe space here?
Look, I'm very popular with the ladies. I can't pick one.
All right, well, couple things we can do. Mary's book talked about relics like Whisper, and if Bahamut That we spoke to a god dragon, Lavender. I didn't see you in that.
What?
Yeah, it's a long story. I'll tell you later. But if he says we got to get powerful, we could get some of these relics to kind of boost our arsenal. Also, we promised, or at least I promised, that we'd bring Miavir back to Arendelle, bring her back to that tree to Pelor. I would kind of like to get in contact with my family. I don't know. What do you, Hondo? Do you have a family? Do you have like little tadpoles running around somewhere?
There's nothing for me in Triton. We don't go back there.
Every time we hear the fucking name.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's make something clear. I did not name Triton Stan. Let's not put that on me. Going forward, everyone ever should know Triton Stan was not my doing. I said, Hondo, where's the place you're from? And he said, Triton Stan. I said, let's lock that shit in.
That's canon.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Gord, is there anything you would like to do? You've been awful quiet this morning. Uncharacteristically quiet.
I just like to read my book.
Sure. Yep, I think you've earned that.
Look, I mean, when we talk to, the place we probably shouldn't say out loud, he mentioned that there were trials.
Yeah.
The artifacts, the relics that you mentioned, Valentine, those were on the list. That's the first thing. We, after facing Raymond and Frotier, I am not going to do that again without a little more on our side. We need to get better. And I think we need something to get us there.
Let me ask this. Is there a master that we could train with?
I don't know if we have time for training, Hondo. I like the idea. It took years to get me where I am. I don't know how much further I can get in a couple weeks. Like, we don't know how much time we have.
Mine was mostly raw talent. I just feel like I keep getting better day by day. But
good for you.
Hondo, speaking of, what Mary was just saying kind of sounds like a way to learn under a master. We get these relics, and then from the place that we can't talk about, they said to come back and that there might be a trial, but then it sounded like they would help us out. So
it's a good idea. Relics are always good in my books.
Maybe we break down what's on that list there, Mary.
Yeah.
Lavender, Mary once got this book and this whole dragon vision, very similar to the dream we had last night. Anyways, there was a list of like 8 of these magical relics. You know that dagger that Hondo carelessly lost like the other day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of these like legendary weapons of war. So
Hondo, is that the one we were throwing at the dartboard the other night at the pub?
Yeah, it's just a dagger in my books. It might be special, but
Pretty lucky dagger though. That earned us some dollars.
yeah, let's not do that anymore. That whole dart dagger thing. But why don't we see what Valdora wants to do with this city, and then see about these relics? Does that sound good to you guys?
Just out of curiosity, what are we gonna do with all these zombie bodies? I guess Valdora will know.
Yeah, I mean, like, typically I go to the party, I don't clean up the party. I celebrate, I bring 2 people back to life, and then I usually leave the party.
I think it'd be good. I think, these were people not that long ago. I'm sure people of the Soul Forge will have a way to lay them to rest for good.
Also, some of us, not naming names, are friends of the zombies, so we gotta be careful.
One of us is, friends with zombies? Who's that?
One of us is a known friend of the zombies, yes.
One of us is?
One of us, they know who they are.
Okay. Is it Lavender?
I give Valentine a very knowing look. It's like, are you okay? All right. So what? Leah was out getting a book and didn't have headphones in. The plan is stick around here, see if anyone needs us, and then we start trying to figure out where we're going next, correct?
Baldora, let's see what she does.
Okay.
I pick up my lance. We figure out maybe what the nearest relics are.
I have the list,
We
so we're
eventually try and make our way back to Arendelle just to lay Neovia to rest. Try not to die along the way.
good. We'll plot a course.
Maybe get Ted, see how he's doing.
Well, I mean, I think
Baby.
one of our stops is in the desert, so that's on the way.
Like 8 feet tall now, 8'10". Fucking Jack.
It's been like 5 days.
Some of those bugbears, or sorry, owlbears, they grow quick.
Ow, Oliver.
What's Baldor and Thor up to?
They're just quickly having conversation about what is happening in the city. You can see that they have kind of moved away and towards the entrance of the Soul Forge, and she is just kind of. You can see that she's still weak in the same way Alana, when she came back, was weakened. So Thor is just kind of helping her up, and she kind of gives him a head nod to head off into the keep once more. But she returns to you all and says, "So it seems like things are over here. They have driven out the majority of the mass. These figures, whatever the vow, whatever you call them, they're not here in the city anymore. At least haven't shown their faces. And our guards are keeping pretty stringent, watchful eye through the streets in the outer and inner cities. We sustained some relatively heavy losses of citizens and our guard force as well. We have a lot of last rites to issue, unfortunately. It's going to be a couple of weeks of cleanup and just trying to figure out what to do next. But for the time being, we're alive. Live to fight another day. Let's move for a path forward."
Speaking of the path forward,
Yes, what is your plan?
we'd be happy to stay for the tiniest bit, but truly we're kind of on an urgent quest to keep moving forward. There are other things that we need to do. I would just say, you're back, which is incredible, but this war isn't over, and we might need to call upon you in the city in the future. I'm sure you feel there's unfinished business.
I was killed by someone. I would like to destroy them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So much.
I need to take a nap, but after that, I'm pretty much good to fuck everybody up. Other than that, I need to figure out and fix the city, yada yada. But whenever you call, you've got the Red Mane people at your back.
Tight.
I don't want to presume anything. We're going to need to face this in a united front. We have connections in Arendelle. It might be worth reaching out and trying to stitch together back a rapport.
We had some relations to speak of with Arendelle prior to the attack in Arendelle there some weeks past. We were reached out to try and aid, and unfortunately by the time word got to us, the attack had already happened. Seemingly we were unable to even to help, but relations with the Delarians are moving forward, and if you're able to aid in smoothing some things, I think we can be a united front of the North.
That's amazing. Yeah, hopefully we'll get back there soon. We can talk about a teleportation circle there, maybe setting up some sort of summit where we could all get together and have some FaceTime and talk about a united Northern Front.
Last I knew about teleportation to the city, well, one, we are not much for teleportation, honestly, but they were also pretty stringent on teleportation into their city. then again, the guy in charge of it just tried to kill us. So,
Yeah.
in fairness, I imagine things might change. However, we typically would take a ship across and dock there. It's a couple-day journey, but it's doable. But to take a full force, we need to march on foot. Should we need to, obviously.
And by ship, do you mean sky ship?
Oh, no. Sky
Oh.
is not Dwarven friend. We like
Yeah.
earth, ground.
I thought with the griffins, maybe you were like branching out, but that's fine.
That's a Champions Guild thing. They're okay with being a little bit closer to death. It's fun for a short time, don't get me wrong. But I'd rather not fall to my death. That's not fun.
Yeah. We heard about a guy with a sky ship, and I just keep thinking about sky ships. So that's on me. That's my bad.
That's fair. Totally fair. We don't have that technology, unfortunately. One day, maybe, but that's a long ways off. But for now, rebuilding in here is my plan. We have a couple of weeks of rebuilding the city and restabilizing the people and hoping to calm people without having mass evacuations and people running off and losing a good chunk of our forces and revenue, but we'll have to just deal with it one day at a time. But do not stay on my account. As much as I would love to have a moment of peace and fun even with my newly found sister, your purpose is elsewhere. I understand that.
Last thing, I swear. Are we keeping this a secret?
That's up to you. I'm back. I can make my peace. I'm here. I can explain that, I had to take a nap. It's good. Don't worry about it. But if you want to remain anonymous, that's up to you. If you want to be known as the second sister of the Redmanes, Princess Alana sounds cool.
Princess Alana sounds great.
It does have a really good ring to it. And I turn to the party and I go, it's up to you guys. I'm cool with it, but I don't want it to get us in trouble. If it's going to get us in trouble, then we keep it secret.
Alana, like many things in this, I believe this one's up to you. Admittedly, it would open a few doors for us. It might close some others, but we have some ways around that.
Yeah, Honda can kick it down. Worst case scenario.
Oh, let's kick down a door.
We know you can't kick it down.
That one time.
All right. Princess it is.
All right. Well, I'd like to have some time in the city to rebuild before announcing something like this. It'll be a good moment once things are a little bit in better shape, and when we need a good pick-me-up, perhaps we bring you back for a proper coronation. If that is okay to hold on to the secret for a few days. Just once we get our legs under us once more. We don't want to throw too much at our people.
Well, we do have a sending stone that I have no intention of giving back.
Not mine.
No, it's not. It's through the Champions Guild.
Oh yeah, Haldor gives them to everybody.
Yeah. Haldor, if you need to talk to her, just go bug him.
I mean, I'll just get Kildred to message somebody. Yeah, he does whatever the fuck I say.
Ugh, just don't hear his fucking voice.
All the more reason to send it to you.
All right, Wildcards. You want to get moving?
So where are you off to then?
Well, I got a lance. I gotta pick up this lance.
Oh, you just mean just like move like physically?
I have a couple errands I have to get up to.
Sure. Everyone
To
needs.
be fair, likely we're going to be all over the realm. We don't tend to stay in one spot for very long. This is the longest we've been in one place for a while, and it kind of all went to shit. So
That's fair.
We're in hell for a bit. That was a long time.
yeah, let's not talk about that. Okay, to the lance.
Okay, as you guys go to set off, Baldora once more takes Alana's hand and just says, the second you want to come back, you let me know. We'll run the red carpet out for you.
Thank you so much. And remember, I've always got you.
Good to know.
So,
By the way, take care of Solania for me.
Will do. And she lifts it up and holds it tight, and you see it glow with its red runes. And she just kind of hefts it, flips it, holds it again, says, "One day we'll get another one for you."
That'd be awesome. Can I have it with a pink handle though?
I'll tell them to make it so.
Sweet.
You got it. Okay. We'll see you soon. She makes her way with you out of the Soul Forge, but splits ways, heading towards her chambers because she's tired. Well, you guys head out into the main city, heading your way down out of the Red Keep. And easy enough, if you guys want to run through some quick things you want to pick up. As you make your way out into the Marquee District, to the shopping district, you can see it is in relatively the same state as it was before. The horde did not make it high enough into the marquee to cause any major disruptions. However, you can see some broken doors and things where guards were closing things and just trying to get everyone to pack in and hide. And you can see just like the streets are a bit of a mess. But many dwarves, just citizens, are out cleaning alongside guards, everyone working in tandem to just try and fix the city. The Crown District is more or less untouched as you make your way down through that towards the Marquee District. Nothing did make it up towards there. So in the Marquee District, you can make it to pick up your lance. Good to go. Is there any other last things you guys want to try and look for?
I mean, everything's kind of gone to shit. We were just here.
If I could find studded leather armor, I'll buy some for Lavender.
Oh yeah, just like basic?
Yeah, can it be more than basic?
No. but
When
just
did
basic, yeah.
You had
did I
my.
have an order again?
Pardon me?
You had
Didn't I
a
have-
breastplate or something, didn't you?
Didn't I have something on order, or was it like a potion or something to like enhance my armor?
I don't know.
One
We
second.
can always-
One second.
We can always
If you-
retcon this.
Yeah,
together.
I'll just say
It's session 60 is when we ordered stuff. So go back in your notes for session 60.
What about that guy that won the contest that I
Yeah,
said
his
that we were
shit.
gonna get his armor?
Or his
Oh
gauntlet
yeah.
built
Like,
on
can we
this.
get that shit?
you guys can get the. You guys took. I thought you guys took the gauntlet and like the blade gauntlet and the shield gauntlet. You just haven't done anything with it since. So you guys took that just in the moment because you were the queen and he wasn't gonna fucking say no.
I just told him that we're taking it.
Yeah.
Let me write down shield gauntlet because I would fucking love that. That thing is so cool.
It's not a +1, so you'll lose your +1.
Oh, but it's so cool.
It's super fucking cool.
It like goes on like it's so cool.
Maybe I'll try and find someone to make that into a +1 version. Let's just spend another month here and get some more stuff built for us.
Let's see.
Hondo, did you order anything? I feel like you order a lot.
I don't think
I
Honda
bought my
did.
ring, but they did not have my ring.
Yeah. They're not so much into like magical shit here. Beyond
Yeah,
like,
all of that magic shit.
I did want potions. I think I did want potions.
yeah, they didn't have a whole lot potion
We
wise.
bought them out for potions.
You guys cleaned out anything they did have. Let's see. I'm trying to flip back to my fucking pages. Okay. I don't have anything written here for Mary or for Alana from the day you guys went shopping. Val, 7 days, 1,500 gold, +1 lance. Mary, 4 days, 1,500 gold, 25 arrows. You already got those.
Oh, I remember. No, it was just Alana. When you were in hell, your
Yeah, your breastplate got like destroyed.
your breastplate got destroyed, so you just bought a normal breastplate. You were gonna get a magic one, but it was gonna take way too long.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like, fuck it, I'll just get a normal one.
To buy studded leather though, just standard studded leather is 45 gold and you can get it.
okay.
Done.
It's like off the rack, so no problem.
Okay.
Lav can wear that now if she has bar.
You don't need it, Allie. You have. You're good with your.
Yeah, Ali, your AC should still be your breastplate and all that jazz. But just to give Lav, that does mean your mage armor will not work. Like it's not in addition.
Can anyone else hear him? You cut out for me.
I could hear it, but go ahead.
You guys hear it?
Sorry.
Or,
Testing 1, 2, 3. Everybody good?
yeah, sorry. I think it's our internet.
That's okay. So studded leather is 12 plus dex. Mage armor is, I believe, 13 plus dex, but it's a spell that you have to cast and make sure you have it on 8 hours. So,
And you can't have mage armor if you have regular armor.
yeah,
I think we're good now. Sorry. We're having some technical difficulties.
that's cool. Did you hear what I was saying or no? I'm gonna assume that's a no.
We may have to leave and come back. I can't hear Kyle. Can
Okay,
you
let's-
guys talk? Can you guys all hear Kyle okay?
Yeah, we can hear him.
Yep, I can hear.
Weird. Do you mind if I leave and come back?
I'll pause.
Okay.
Recording once more. Okay. So, yeah, you guys can acquire studded leather armor, but as I was saying, studded leather is 12 plus dexterity modifier. You cannot double up with mage armor.
Yeah.
Mage armor is 13 in dex, but costs a spell slot.
Yeah.
If you're okay with wearing studded and doing that trade-off, no problem.
So your AC will go down from than when you could have mage armor, but it saves you a first.
Well, it's something you could call on the fly too. It's so cheap. Like we can just buy this. and
Oh
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
decide
That's
to-
true.
You just have to decide what you're wearing in the morning type thing.
Or if you want to put it on and
Always do.
then Scott, you run 45 gold, or whoever wants to buy it, 45 gold for the studded leather, and you're able to pick up a +1 lance that you purchased. I think you paid in full, if I'm not
Yep.
wrong. I should have written that down, but I think you did.
I did.
It wouldn't be. It's like it was 1,500 gold, but you guys are fucking stacked. So, you're able to acquire those things, and through your like walking through the city, you see the shops and restaurants and things are open, though like patronage seems pretty down. People are actively like out in the city trying to help clean up and figure out what to do, trying to piece together what the fuck happened. Like people in the city don't know what just happened to their city. They're just reacting. So you can see like passing by some of these shop windows and things, some are just completely closed while they're out helping as well. But they wouldn't have received any new stock since you guys went shopping like 5 days ago. So actually not even, you guys went shopping like 3 days ago, 2 days ago. So there's nothing more for you guys really beyond what you already have in just the regular old stores.
Well, as we're like walking through everything, I'll pull Lavender aside from the group. We never quite finished your mission here. Never found out what happened to those will breakers.
That's true, but they kind of disappeared altogether, so I'm gonna call it the wash.
So you're good with sticking with us then?
I think so. Until I get another challenge or my mom calls me home.
Well, we'll see if we hear from the guild, but at this point I think we'll be a little forgiving.
I always talk about my business, out of sight, out of mind, no problem.
Oh man, I'll be sure to let them know that you helped us out. And I'll turn to the rest of the group. You did good.
Thank you. Oh,
I was not. Alright, you also did good.
thank you.
Well, you did okay.
Thank you.
Passes out a lot.
What was that?
So, as you guys make your way out of the city, out of the inner city, and back towards the outer city, as you head out into the outer city once more, you see a more dire scene. You see more of where the initial attack took place. The bodies here have yet to really be cleaned away, and there are stacks of dead. People are just trying to sift through the streets that are still laden heavily with blood. People are just trying to throw buckets of water to try and clear away the street, and it is a stark reminder of the pain and death that just swept through this city. Despite the good that has come afterwards, you're feeling okay now. there's still a lot of pain here, and there are a lot of people out just trying to help, and they look tired and they look pained, but you can see they're grouping together to try and fix things. You make your way out of most of the way towards kind of the midpoint of the outer city. What's the plan? Where are you guys headed?
The relics, if that's the way we're going. We have the plate, which is in the middle of the cow. Stormbreaker and Tempest are in the ocean somewhere. I have more details somewhere, I just can't find them. There's the Warden of the Fae, that's deep in the Vale. The Mantle of the Phoenix, I don't have information for. It may make sense to start in the Sanctuary. If we start to the desert, perhaps then we work our way over to Verdancy on foot. I'm sure, Valentine, you'd like to see your family, and it wouldn't hurt to try to grab a teleportation sigil from there. Let's go south, see if we can hit the Vale.
What's the one hidden in the cow?
The Plate of the Valkyrie. I admittedly had my eye on that one, but I don't want to. It's armor, Hondo. Plated armor. Not a dinner plate.
You wouldn't even be able to carry that.
Out of game, do we have a map that has where each relic is?
You do not have a map where each relic is. You have a map of the continent that you
trying to find it.
Yeah, I can pull it up here and screen share. You guys are sitting up in Hammerstock and Haverfeld, up in this area here. The Kel sits here. Where am I getting messages from? Let's just use this one full. The Kel sits here, and you guys know that the Platinum Sanctuary is kind of sitting in this like lower region of the Kel. But as of now, you guys are unsure of where any of like the actual relics would be. This here is Verdancy, so like if you were to plan to make your way from here over to Verdancy, you're looking at probably like a weekish, maybe more of on foot travel, or on mount, whatever, to Verdancy, and then from Verdancy you could head down into the Vale. As of right now, I mean, you guys, if you're on foot, you've got a long way just to get out of Haverfeld, but I imagine you will not be on foot. Traveling to a central point within the Kel, the Platinum Sanctuary will be here, and then from there, it's up to you guys where you want to head.
I mean,
so I don't mind. Sorry to cut you off. I don't mind the Kel plan, Mary.
I mean, at the very least, we know we can get between here and there without travel. We know we need to end up there eventually. I wouldn't mind adding a secondary. Let's gather as many quick travel destinations as we can along our way.
I wrote a bunch down here. You might have already said it, but we got Honor's Last Stand, which is with Youth Qatar. Probably still on him.
Well, yeah, we have the 5 that are specifically like for this first trial. We don't have to get all of them. We just have to get at least one. But we know we want to get some of these anyway, just to help us out. So the
Honor's Last Stand, we already have Whisper. Dawnbringer is a gilded longsword by a long-haired guy who kills a demon. Stormbreaker is a maul, massive hammer, Temple of Pelor, Underdark, gemstone cord. Kraken, Osmond Sea, large war, undersea battle, Triton. It's probably Triton stand, Hondo. Maybe you have a connection to that maul. Belt of Tempest, Belt of Storm's Fury to fight the Roostune. Massive desert fight, chained monstrosity, smashing fists through green. Warden of the Fae is the champion of the Vale, multicolored flora, small chapel. Azith's Fate is a magical island floating above ocean, golden staff. Mordenkainen used this in an alabaster tower. Rod of Law. Sultan of Marrakesh apparently has that. Something Asmodean, Sapphire Palace, Regal, Figure, Dark Skin. Armor of the Valkyrie is a flying combat flue of Pegasus, Mithril plate armor. Mantle of the Phoenix is healing and rejuvenation. Extinction, eggs are protected, innate magic, not mantle out of carcasses. And
Your notes are so sporadic.
These are the ramblings of a madman.
Lastly, Aurel's bow, rosewood, unicorn string, Aurel's Mount Celestia, in your darkest hour of the light. I also have written down literally have Triton Stand written down, and then Mestodons and the Voidwalker. That sounds scary. Great, well, we cleared that all up.
Good to go.
All right, so what if we fast travel, teleportation circle to the place we don't talk about, see our sweet, sweet boy, little Ted, maybe relay what happened to our boy, Uth Qatar, and then try and find this Valkyrie armor, not die, then go maybe to Verdansia, maybe sloop down into the Vale, try and find Warden of the Bay, swoop up to Arendelle, say hi, last rites for Neavir, have a couple drinks with fucking Colton, and then we could also like try and raid Raymond's study, see if he left anything behind there. Like if we have to do some research, either Platinum Sanctuary or maybe somewhere in Arendelle would be a good place to do that.
Arendelle has plenty of libraries.
Hondo loves a good shopping spree in a magical place. I think we undervalued how fun Arendelle's shopping section was.
Absolutely.
You've been craving that for maybe 2 years, Hondo.
I need my ring.
You need your ring?
My book.
Listen, you can read your book, I promise, on all of these things.
All right, well, we can start at the sanctuary.
There's also...
I don't know what that was.
There's also one more thing we need to do. And I will take out of my bag. Did I write it down here?
Uh-oh.
Let me just pull this up.
We're losing you slowly.
Yeah, you're dying out. They're dead. It's gone.
Oh no! Can you hear us?
Okay, there you go.
What
The build-up! The build-up!
Great little cliffhanger. I want to take out of my box the Infernal Puzzle.
Oh god, I forgot about this thing.
Oh, yeah.
This, we don't know what the fuck is inside it, but a terrible necromancer, probably the worst of his kind, was hiding something inside it. And it could be his, what ties him to this world, what could bring him back, his essence.
Didn't you already look at it and you determined with Oof that that's not what it was?
I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure I wrote that down. You said we determined that's not what it was, but it was still something very powerful and magic, and we didn't know what, if it was good or bad. But I know you're determined to open it. I can try, but I don't want to try when I have a full day ahead of me.
That's the best time to try.
It's really not, because then the rest of the day is shot if that thing fucking tries to murder me.
But at least you have all of your stuff if it tries to murder you. You want to at the end of the day when you don't have any stuff left?
Look, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. I'm sure there'll be an evening we can try it. I don't know that right here in this city that just kind of is half dead is the best place to try to open this super evil puzzle box that may explode on us.
Place. I was thinking we teleport to the place we don't talk about and do it there.
Sure. If I fucking die, you guys better bring me back.
I'm 2 for 3, so I feel confident right now. Maybe it's a bad idea to do it in the place we don't talk about. We don't want to reveal it to dark forces.
Oh, yeah.
Look, let's just start. Let's just start by going.
All right. I'll start tracing a circle on the ground with Heartbreaker. Start getting teleportation circles.
Sure. You find a patch outside of the main city thoroughfare, kind of actually towards where the mine entrance that you exploded and the mysterious missing Wheelbreaker's tower once was. And you find an open space, and with Heartbreaker, you carve the sigils of the teleportation circle to the Platinum Sanctuary, and you ignite the last sigil, cast the spell, and through it, all of you and your mounts make your way to the Platinum Sanctuary. Within a brief moment, you are standing beneath the blazing sun of the Kel Desert, and immediately begin to lower down the platform atop this red rock mesa overlooking the Kel. And as you lower, you see a storm kind of brewing on the horizon over the Kel, and you see off in the distance just multiple splintering blasts of lightning that seem to be striking, several kilometers off, but it is a wide, fast-moving, spreading storm. But nonetheless,
weren't we in this desert and a similar terrifying storm came upon us? That's like
it almost took Hondo out of the sky when he was playing the carpet.
Good time.
We encountered some bad creatures here too.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you lower yourselves into the Platinum Sanctuary, and as you take the long journey down, landing within the main halls of the Platinum Sanctuary, Uthgadar doesn't immediately greet you this time. There is kind of no greeting. In fact, you hit bottom, and it's oddly silent.
I click on her.
This is an insult. We should be greeted.
Hondo, shut up the fuck up.
Your voice rings off, echoed marble halls.
I would like to do a perception check, try and see if I can hear something.
Sure. Make a perception check.
Oh, fuck me. Net 3 plus 13 is 16.
It's pretty. You hear something ahead and towards the garden area that you guys. It's kind of down this long hall. At the far end of the hall, the Hall of Heroes, this kind of statuesque roundabout is stood. But in the midpoint, there is on the left side, the way you're facing, the outdoor garden area that kind of sits between those two red rock mesas, those two rocks of red. And you hear something coming from that direction. Something like the clatter of metal on rock.
Oh. Let's be quiet and let's scout up ahead. Get ready.
Everyone make a stealth check for me.
I don't even need to. I'm so good.
Oh,
You
God.
should do it anyways.
Like that.
24.
Ow. Stealth.
Yeah, it's like 35.
I got 15.
I also
Okay.
got 15.
Okay.
I got 9.
Oof.
I
Great.
can't stream.
27.
Oh, fuck. Anna, what'd you get?
You don't even know where I am. I disappeared.
Following immediately in step, you guys all begin to slink to the corners and get low and quickly adopt stealthy positions and movement. And you guys begin to make your way closer and closer towards the sound. And another clatter of metal sounds, like the sound of like a pitcher of water clattering off onto the stone. And there is this kind of horrid, like, munching sound of just like heavy, wet slaps of something, like gnawing and biting into something.
Can we poke our heads around the corner?
you guys get towards the kind of there's like the semi-columned look into this garden area, and there's like kind of midway along the area, you can see like these kind of raised troughs of oil that can be lit with flame, though they are unlit right now, and you kind of skirt around, kind of hiding low beneath them. And as you kind of peer around the corner, you do see Teddy just munching away on some apples and just fruit and shit, and he's just on top of the table and he's just like batting away the platters and shit. You see Uthkadar is taking a nap under the sun.
God.
You're an asshole.
Uth kind of shifts up and says, "Oh, I am sorry. How rude of me to not welcome you into the Platinum Sanctuary. My apologies, my friends. Teddy, come on, get down." And he scolds Teddy slightly and begins kind of quickly cleaning up the very fat Teddy. He's turned into a very big puffball of beak, feather, and fur.
Oh, he's been spoiled.
Run up and give him a big hug.
He's very squishy. But he mews in this weird chirping growl, but also like kind of nuzzles into you. And he's very happy to see you.
Oh my god. I think it just pulled up the cutest fucking owlbear.
Oh my goodness.
Uth kind of sits up and kind of finishes cleaning up the spilled fruit trays and water pitchers, and looks across you all and looks at Alana specifically and kind of steps forward and with a hand to your shoulder says, "I'm glad to see you still with us. Does this mean the seal remains unbroken, or how did we fare?"
I think it's over.
It is as I feared. However, it did seem an inevitability, truthfully. I am sorry to have sent you off to die, but I had faith in Bahamut and in you that it would not be your end. So I'm very happy to have you back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Well, what is the plan forward then? In my time here, I have learned some things, actually, that may interest you about the fourth seal. I believe you have actually have some time on your hands before such a thing is. It seems tied to the moon. I'll explain. I'll explain in a bit. I need to clean myself up a bit. Truthfully, you caught me a little unawares. How about we prepare dinner and I explain at dinner what I know about the fourth seal, and you can tell me of your travels.
Sounds good.
I assume you will be staying in your rooms.
Yeah, we can stay a night. That sounds good.
It would be very nice to have company if you would be willing to stay.
Admittedly, that storm on the horizon didn't look good if we're heading into the Kell.
The Kell
You'd
is
be hurt
always
to leave the night.
The Kell is always storming. There is no accounting for that. But we are safe from the storm here. Don't you worry. Please, I will clean myself up and I will prepare a meal for us. Perhaps a few hours, and we'll serve here.
Hey, general insight check-in.
Yeah, this does not feel good.
I just feel on edge. I just want to. My insight would be: does he seem like the man I spoke to previously?
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Hey!
Yeah, you just caught him napping. It's just not. He just wasn't expecting you guys to be back so soon. But he is as he ever was, a gracious host and a very knowledgeable ally who wants to cook you dinner and is kind of embarrassed to be caught sleeping.
Perfect. Hey, this could be a good opportunity. If he needs a couple hours, we could go outside of the Platinum Sanctuary and try and open this fucking box.
Yeah, I'll try to open the fucking box.
We all gather in a circle around it. We prep our weapons. We try and open the box. We see what happens.
Should we tell this guy that we're gonna do this?
Ooth, before you.
Yes. Sorry?
Yeah. We showed you this previously, right? This infernal puzzle box.
I vaguely recall, although truthfully, I don't remember much about it. I suppose that's a good thing. It doesn't seem...
Well, we found this box in Carval's safe crypt.
Right.
And we didn't find his phylactery, whatever was tying him to this world. I don't know if his phylactery could be inside this. I don't know what's inside this thing, but he was trying to keep it secret and safe. We were going to open it up outside. Do you think that's a good idea?
No. I would not presume to tamper with those things that a very powerful necromancer has kept locked away in secret. To me, that spells doom. However, you are the champions, and you face doom on a daily basis. I leave it in your hands. You seem more prepared than you did before. Perhaps you are equipped to deal with this.
We faced Doom yesterday. I don't know if I want to face Doom again.
What if what's inside this is letting him come back to life day by day by day?
What if this thing was locked away for a reason? And
Why would an evil guy lock something away that's good?
No, I think the evil guy would lock something away that's even more evil than him. I don't know. Fuck it. Fine, I'll try. Don't let me die.
Let's do it. Let's open the box.
Oh, God.
Okay. Are you guys going back up the way you came, back to like the top of the mesa, where like you guys had like the vigil for Neavir, or that's kind of the only way in and out you know of as of now?
Yeah, I think that's wise. It seems like there's like wards on this place that I don't want to break if something was to spawn in here.
Yeah. Trying to find in my notes, but yeah, you guys make your way up the mesa, and you draw out this box of this cube. It's relatively large, and you have to struggle to kind of pull it out of your bag of holding, and it smells of hell. It smells of brimstone and fire. It's in this plate is the same plate you saw making up Egoth's armor, this hellish infernal metal, and you see across its entire form just infernal markings, scratchings, sigils, runes, and throughout this like constant path of red hot magma that is almost hot to the touch. It feels incredibly horrid. But if Mary is the one to do this, to head forward and take a crack at an investigation check to try and crack this thing.
And I will definitely inspire her. Put a hand on her shoulder, be like, "You got this. And whenever it comes out, we'll be prepared."
Got a D10?
D10.
Yeah, okay. Just everyone stand back.
I'll click on Heartbreaker. Just get ready.
Okay. You guys take defensive positions, placing the box on the ground. Mary, you step forward and you pace around, just trying to get your bearings before even picking it up. And then you grab it and make an investigation check.
Oh boy.
I'm going to use luck. Me as well. This first roll wasn't very good. Second one was better. But no, still not excellent. Like, excellent, I think this needs to be amazing. Don't... Oh god, that inspiration didn't really help that much. Okay.
Laugh can bend luck too, or whatever that thing is.
I got a 27.
Why don't you do your thing? Do your thing.
Okay, I'll bend luck for...
Because that...
I'm kind of scared of this thing. I don't really...
Whatever the D4 one is, I think.
So that I'm not going to say applies to this, because it is a check that isn't an immediate check. This takes you an hour of fucking around with. Mary, you take a lot of time and just try and poke and prod, and you find panels of it kind of shift and move, and you manage to actually find an opening on one side, and it shifts around, and suddenly on the other side it kind of shifts here, and you're able to try and just like move this, what you find this puzzle of pieces that you're slowly finding a way to get towards. And towards the end of the hour, what was your total check?
27.
Towards the end of the hour, you got nothing. I shouldn't say you get nothing. You got a fair ways through it, to which I would give you advantage on another check if you did it tomorrow, so I remember the process. I'll give you advantage on it tomorrow, but it is intentionally infernally puzzling. It just constantly winds back around on itself, and these chains like kind of intersect, and you find that these plates of metal are just like, sometimes they move, sometimes they don't, depending on how you grip it, and the whole while you can feel it just trying to weasel into your mind, and just kind of just like it kind of pinpricks in your brain towards the end of the hour, where you just say, fuck it, I'm done. You throw it down.
What if we smash it open?
I don't think you can.
We try.
It's really hardy.
Do you remember when we were in the necromancer's lair? And what did you do? I think you like tried to smash open a coffin and almost killed every single person in the room.
That is a good point.
It came from the same room. Yeah, fuck, I'll try another time. Sorry guys,
No, it's okay. I don't even know if we want it open, but
if you try tomorrow, given like how close you got today, you'll have advantage on it.
I rolled pretty bad, guys, even with advantage. So I mean, if I roll,
you rolled bad on luck.
Yeah, I rolled a 2, and then I rolled a 13, which I have a plus 11, but then I only rolled a 2 on the inspiration.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
You're close. You're very close.
Try again tomorrow. I'll put it away before Hondo gets a crazy idea.
Easy enough, but that did take you guys an hour of kind of, everyone got real bored watching Mary kind of fuck with this and poke and prod at it. And so that is why I wouldn't allow the bend luck to it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to do? You still probably got a little bit of time before like Booth would be ready with dinner.
Maybe I'll say, Lav, you want to learn how to heal people with words?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool.
So watch. Mary or Brawley will fight Hondo.
I punch him in the face.
Make an attack roll.
I'm okay. I've been hit by many women in the past.
You just had your strength, right?
Yeah. So
or
this is
no proficiency?
No, you're proficient.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely gonna hit. But it's a strength, not a dex. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is, what is my strength again? It's +3, so 25.
That hits.
That I roll high on.
Yeah. So Hondo, as you're kind of not suspecting it, but you take the punch, she clean clocks you. You take 1 plus your strength is 3, so you take 4 points of damage.
Oh.
As Mary just hauls off and just cracks you on the chin. You don't go flying or anything, but you just like, ow, your chin. It hurts.
That was a...
What you got to do is using your like arcane ability. I don't know how yours works, but you kind of attach it to the word healing that you throw out there. Like, hey, fuckface, heal yourself. Try it. You don't have to say fuckface. You just like say anything. Try and heal it.
Hondo the Blue, I am calling you. Stop being a little girl and get up. We need you. It's dinner time.
It was very long, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I probably won't say that all the time because it won't really make sense.
Roll this. See how much it feels.
Yeah, do you cast the spell? Before you cast the spell, roll a d20. 20.
Oh, wild magic surge!
Oh, shit!
Damn it!
3.
So close.
And I also rolled a 3.
All right. So 3 plus your charisma, as it is your charisma, but it doesn't matter. He only took 4 points of damage. So regardless, Hondo, you are healed to full once more. You're back full. He only took 4 points of damage. She heals you for 8, I think. You feel fine, although you were just the victim of an assault. So beyond that.
Do I know I was healed?
Yeah, you're immediately where you're rubbing your chin, immediately it just feels better.
Okay.
You feel no bruise, you're like, oh, that's not so bad.
That's my kind of bruise. It got away.
And Lavender has cast her first bard spell.
Boom.
Yay!
So, should we go in for dinner? Put this away, maybe try again tomorrow morning, but see what Uth has to say about her quest? Maybe get Ted some exercise? When he can hear, but he's
getting
out of shape.
he's getting so chubby.
With a
I thought he
sword.
was supposed to be training, like to be a warrior.
I think, to be honest, I think Uth's just happy to have company. Pretty sure he's going to spoil the shit out of him. Brock, you could have been reading your book the whole time. That's what you.
If you want to pull away from everyone for that hour and for at any point in time, you just gotta say it, man.
Yes.
Away.
Okay. Leading up to dinner, there's still some time before dinner, anyways. Like it's not ready just yet. So you guys can go back inside and just kind of take a couple hours to just relax, get your bearings.
Having a bath again, because that was great last time.
Sure, clean off. Yeah, you guys haven't fully even cleaned yourselves. Like you guys did a sponge bath after yesterday, and a little bit this morning. You would just quickly clean yourselves off, but a proper cleaning would be glorious.
Can I go up to Gord in his book?
Gord is in his room, anyways.
I'll knock on your door.
I don't answer.
Gord, are you reading?
What is it? I'm reading.
I just didn't know you liked books so much. I love books. I have so many books. We can do a book swap sometime.
That's how I gain knowledge with more spells.
I love spells too. I got some spell. We could swap stuff. So yeah, if you want, this little ghost girl gave me a book once. I can lend you that. So.
Okay, sounds good. Once I'm done this, we'll swap.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's great. You seem riveted. What's that book about?
Spells, mainly.
Cool.
You'll see. It'll help us out one day, hopefully.
You know what? If you're doing it, it's going to help us out because you always help us out, pal.
Thanks. You're my best friend.
Whoa!
I put my hand on the door. I'll stifle a little cry. You're my best friend too. And then I walk away.
The guilt trip is so hard.
Yeah. Gord, you return from the disturbance of Valentine and continue reading its dark pages. And you have reached, all said and done by the time, because we didn't really cover how much you weren't able to get too much in the last couple of nights thanks to battle. Not 70, no. You were at 47 before, I believe.
I have 45 in my phone.
I was close.
But...
with tonight, basically only if you go down for this dinner and meeting afterwards and then duck out to read through the majority of the night, you can easily get to 60.
Oh shit! Let's do it.
I'll give you to 60 from because you'll go through. You want to read. You're putting all this extra time. But before dinner is 3 or 4 hours, and then after dinner and conversation, you'll have plenty of time. So if you're okay with just ducking out after dinner, you can just read up to 60.
Let's do it.
Cool.
So scary.
Getting closer and closer. But for the time being, you continue making your way through a couple hours of cleaning and relaxation, and Uthgadar has dinner prepped and ready, and Teddy is already munching away. as you guys enter into the kind of garden area where he has everything set up, and he gestures for everyone to sit, and he pours water and wine, and sits at the table with you guys. And he says, "It is good to have company. It's been quite some time that I've properly had proper company and a meal and friends to share time with. It was actually quite a godsend that you left young Teddy with me. It's been quite a lovely time. We've become fast friends. So thank you for that. And once more, thank you for your sacrifice, Alana, and of course the rest of you. But let's not dwell on the past and on sacrifices and sadness. Let's enjoy some food and some drink, and then we can talk some darker things. Easy enough. You enjoy some wine, you enjoy some food. He tells some stories of the old Dragon Guard and talks of the old heroes, talking of Reyna Theanestra, the Valkyrie Queen, talking about her charging into battle atop her winged Pegasus, of Ragnar Stormborn, alluding to like how similar he sees many different things in both Hondo and in Alana, of just the full bore charge ahead, storm into battle, and fuck shit up, and just kind of finding comparisons between each of you and some of the heroes of old, and just some old tales of old Dragon Guard members. It's an interesting and somewhat educating experience, and he shares tales of his own battles and his own kind of position within them. But every time he kind of gets towards the end of his career, so to speak, as a hero, he kind of trails off and into a little wistful silence before picking up another story of one of the other heroes, not dwelling too long on his own failings or decisions. But a little insight into him. An hour or so passes. You've drank a little and eaten a good meal for the first time in a while. And he says, "Okay, to business. In my research of the fourth seal, as I believe we spoke of previously, it will have something to do with the Angel of Death. This figurehead, this creature, I suppose, one appointed to be the guardian and courier of the dead and their souls onto the afterlife, or onto limbo, or the planes of decision in which they will be decided upon by the gods in their ultimate end. This figure was once mortal. She holds a position, one that Asmodeus once craved, as through her, through their power, the transfer of souls to his own well of souls and to the nine hells would grow him in immense power. If he could harness the ability to siphon every dead soul rather than deliver them to their proper ultimate end, no other souls will populate the outer planes. They would all go to him, and thusly his armies will grow. Many, many years ago, he attempted a corruption of this figure, and in this corruption, he crafted a staff, a scythe specifically. It was known as the Keeper's Scythe, the Keeper of Death. He threw it, corrupted her, bent her to his will, but only for a short while. The Raven Queen, in her might and fury, found out this corruption and burnt it out. The angel survived, as did the Keeper's Scythe, and they kept the Keeper's Scythe as a token of their triumph over the King of the Nine. Its power still resides within it. The fourth seal has known as become death, as Asmodeus wishes to control the dead. At least the transition between the mortal life and the afterlife. This keeper's scythe, would allow him this control. Whoever wields it, at least, would have this control. In my research, this angel was once known as the mortal. Her name was Sirius. And she was once a resident of what is now known in many tales of lore and legend as the City of the Dead. To some of you, there's a city to the south along the southern coast, south of the Vale, known as Casterion. This is the aforementioned City of the Dead, by my recollection and by my historical maps and such. I believe they are one and the same, and I believe within this City of the Dead, the Angel of Death's essence is stored. Perhaps her soul, I know not, but it is kept safe and well guarded here. I would assume that the Revenant Vow will make their attempt to destroy it, to take the city, or no, maybe not take the city, but to take this essence, destroy it, and in doing so claim the position for one of their own. The Keeper's Scythe would likely reside there as well, and should they destroy her essence and claim it, one of their rank will become this new Keeper of Death. The fortuitous part of it being kept in the City of the Dead is the City of the Dead is not always available to us on the mortal plane. It is kept hidden from us until the borders ethereal are thinnest, such coinciding with the full moon or eclipses. As we have just had an eclipse pass, we have several weeks now until the next full moon. Roughly, give or take 5 weeks to be exact, by my calculation and our maps here. In that time, I know not what the Revenant Vow will do. Likely, stockline power and arms and train their soldiers up from their latest bouts, or something far more nefarious. I truly don't know. But we have time for you to prepare yourselves to grow in power and strength, and to try and come up with a plan of your own. But this is all I know. At least it's a direction, a location, an idea. I leave the rest to you.
It's much more than we had before.
That's very helpful. That's great. It's good to know we have some more time to stock up and get ready.
Yeah.
We can't face them again like this. We were very much outmatched.
Hondo and Gore, can you guys throw me history checks for me, please?
Oh, yeah.
On it.
Pirate history.
6.
Boy,
Oh, you both
Oh,
rolled
you-
sixes?
wins.
And my history. 3, so 9.
Oof.
Gord? Oh,
Five.
yours is 6 total, right?
Yep. I'm rolling on the sheet now. D&D Beyond, baby.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Both of you, like, the City of the Dead, like, it rings like a slight bell in your head, but it also just sounds cool, and you're like, oh, that's something we could have passed up in years past, or maybe a story we've heard of before, or maybe it just sounds cool as shit. But unfortunately, nothing more rings true.
This I would like to see.
Nothing more, unfortunately. Uthkadar looks about you and says, this is unfortunately all I have found thus far, but it hopefully will at least give you somewhere to focus towards and a timeline that we have been sorely lacking. Having a date in which we know something will occur gives us a little bit more preparation. We can plan properly. This is for the first time since the beginning of this whole adventure. It's not been in our favor. So hopefully the gods are looking down and smiling upon us, given this. And anything you need, I am here to provide.
Do you know anything about, you were speaking earlier about Reyna, and I think that's the first relic we're going to go after. We heard it was in the Kel Desert somewhere. Do you have any ideas where we should look?
Reyna fell in battle, in the Battle of the Reckoning, sadly. Battling Tharazdun, she and her Valkyrie charged him and dealt a significant blow, but sadly they were slaughtered, and she fell in the Kel Desert long ago. The Kel Desert is a tricky place. Sands shift, and the scar, constant turmoil surrounds it. Where she fell is long lost to history, sadly. But I would imagine wherever one of these relics lie, a powerful creature or entity is sought it out. Their presence would be known by the locals of the area. They would call attention to them, but they would covet these items. They would covet these treasures. I imagine that such a treasure as this within the Kel would certainly draw a powerful creature to its side, and thus a story of some kind certainly has to do something with it. I would imagine your first steps would be to locate tales, legends, stories of the area. In that, I imagine you will find your path.
Firefly.
It's a great
Place
show.
that excellent show. The cantina.
Yeah.
The place that we went before we were unceremoniously sent to hell. There was a man there. I can't remember his name. aka Leah didn't write it down apparently. The barkeep, he said he had a story for us. Something about treasure. But he said it was for another time, I guess. To be fair, we did almost just burn his place down. But
Yeah.
could be a place to start. It's on the other side of this fucking desert.
Butchers, baddies in desert. My notes continue to be incredible. Bone floor. Great. Yeah, we could go back to the Firefly, see if he's still there, or some other stop as we march through towards trying to go to the Scar. Try and find some little desert level.
Are there any other... Oops, do you know if there's any other settlements on this side of the desert?
There were long ago, however, the desert storms have run anyone out of the area, and pardon me, even traveling along the roads here is treacherous along the main paths here. If I could show you a map, I would love to, but I do not have one on me right now, and I'm well into my
Wayfarer's Road follows Twilight.
I have the desert map.
We could find Lando, the ranger, level 2 guide.
He probably went back to Verdansia.
It's probably level 4 now.
Eddie.
My good friend Lando, yes.
Lando, the ranger, saved our babies, Artemis, Hootie, and Teddy.
That's right, the Scar.
From Malgrim, the Hobgoblin Warlord. Lando tells us he's leaving. Barley has Vision. Vision has Spooky Gem in it. Forward.
Hey, that's what's his fuck.
Yep.
That was the seer, right?
Yep. That was the first encounter with the seer.
Yeah. Who ended up being Aerithal? Yeah. Okay, got that name right.
Yep.
Killing it.
2 towers.
Yeah, something about I have something about glass, like in my notes, something about a sea of glass. So if there's no one really to ask. I found the map. There's something called the Oasis, the Terran Range, Terra. I don't know where. Obviously, the sanctuary isn't on this.
No, so it's kind of in the lower mountain range, the southern mountain range, kind of on the north side of where like the Vale woodlands kind of reach over this mountain range, which I can't remember if I did name or not. Terra is to the west. Yeah. Oh shit, it's sideways.
Sorry.
Nice. Cool map.
Yeah. Oh, the Twilight Mountains. That's right. So, actually, you can actually see that if you go north of the Oasis to that kind of square of rock and like a Pride Rock kind of light position, the Platinum Sanctuary is within that square. That's like where you land in on the on your teleportation circle is that Red Rock Mesa, and then you lower down within.
Okay. The Oasis, the settlement?
The Oasis was a settlement that Uthgadar is saying has been kind of dismantled or run off, to his knowledge anyways. Doesn't mean that there's not worth something checking, but...
No, it's also in the like opposite direction. I don't know. We have a timeline. Like we have time, but we don't have that much time.
The Firefly, yeah, you can see the Firefly on that map. So yeah, to the road through like where the Platinum Sanctuary is that would lead you towards the Oasis would be the Wayfarer's Road. Celestia's Way was a path through the core of the desert that did lead roughly from the Firefly to where the Platinum Sanctuary is now. And then there's Nomad's Run that runs the north length of the Adversal Mountains.
We can make our way north into the Scar towards Celestia's Way, towards the Firefly.
I mean, yeah, if we see something on our way, if we see, at least it's a lead, right?
Yep.
If we find a better one on the way, at least we know we're headed towards something and not just wandering aimlessly.
And then we could jump on the Nomad's Run, go back to Verdantia, see my folks, except Francis. Ugh. And then maybe see if there's any rumors in Verdantia about Warden of the Fae. Just keep this quest alive.
I mean, we have an inn with your sister, too. Apparently getting into the Vale can be difficult, but it wouldn't hurt to touch base with your family to try to see if they can get us the rite of passage.
Goddamn husband of hers is so fucking handsome.
He did come try to save us.
That sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it. I think we got a plan.
Fuck, for the first time in a while, we have our own fucking plan. We're following
Can't wait to ruin it.
crisis.
Okay. Then a plan is made. And is there anything you guys want to finish with this evening, or do you want to call it a night?
We have lots of food. We hang out. I'm sure Hondo gets drunk.
In my drunken state, I want to go up to Uthgadar.
Oh no.
I want to fight you. For the training purposes. I want to see your skills.
That can be arranged should you truly wish to. However, we have a training facility below that you could hone your skills on some less fleshy individuals and less old, preferably. I'm rather old.
They won't be at your level.
This is true. However, I don't know if I'm at your level. I think I put myself quite at a disadvantage here. I'm very old. I don't know how to impose that further on you.
Well, I am very honored.
Should you truly wish to, I will see you in battle.
Very
Don't kill him, Hondo.
Non-lethal, non-lethal.
Maybe tomorrow, Hondo. You're pretty drunk.
Yes, very. I concur. Perhaps tomorrow. I'm well into my cups as well. I don't feel this is a fair fight. Tomorrow, perhaps. Should we fight tomorrow morning before you depart, or do you intend to stay another day?
No, morning is usually when I do my shadow sparring, so this is good. I'll do that in the morning.
Perfect. Then I will come grab you from your room, and we shall fight.
Pencil in your calendar, 6 a.m., fight a 200-year-old man.
He's older than that.
500-year-old man.
While they're chatting, I look at Val and I'm like, hey, you seem to always comment when a man is beautiful. Don't you think that Uth is kind of cute?
Why are you so attracted to old people? You have a type and it's very old.
He's got this real, like, thin, long, like, mustache that hangs down from his dragonborn snout, and this little chin tuft. But the setting sun does glisten off his golden scales. There's something to him. Yeah.
Are there any books around?
Not here. No, this is he's out in the the garden area. So there's nothing here directly.
Okay, I just hop away and go to bed.
Okay.
Is there a library in the place?
Yeah.
You go.
Oh yeah, I hop away and go to the library.
He will escort you to the library as the evening kind of seems to be coming down, winding down to an end, and he departs to head off to bed himself, with a reminder to Hondo that early fight, prepare yourself. I'm going to get an early sleep in preparation.
I will be ready.
Good.
I look at Val and I say, "We'll see about that."
I just look
walk away.
down at the table, shake my head.
But as you inquire about books, he does lead you to through the halls, back through this hall of heroes that you once passed through before, and you can see beneath each of the heroic like statues, there are a handful of doors that kind of lead off of this rotunda room. One of them you've passed down to a stairwell that led well down into layers below, where you've stored the Scourge Heart. However, he leads you beneath one of a wizened looking wizard with this like goatee, this very thin like Tony Stark like goatee, a bald head, and a very angry looking face. It just looks like perturbed in this perpetual state of stone. And Uth kind of says, as he looks up at the statue with a kind of gentle nod to, this was the library of Mordenkainen. He was a great man. A bit of a dick, actually. But, when you are burdened with power and intelligence as he was, it's easy to forget humanity.
They're all men until they aren't. Uth.
Very wise. But please, stay as long as you wish and peruse as you will. I will retire for the evening. Good evening.
Thank you.
And you enter into this relatively small library. You can see a relatively thick layer of dust on many of the shelves and books, though you can see a few have been laid open on a table. And there's a leather chair in the middle of the room with these two like tables around it. There is a fireplace in the one side, but it is not currently lit. And on the table, you can see a couple of books, and quickly thumbing through them, you can see like this would have been where Booth was getting the information that you just received about the City of the Dead, and these old tomes of historical accounts of stories of the Angel of Death and the quarrels between the Raven Queen and Asmodeus. But you're able to kind of peruse a book. Is there anything you're looking for specifically, or just kind of checking it out?
I think I'll take one of those books about the Raven Queen and learn a little bit more about these cards.
Sure. You make an investigation check as you kind of look through this book here. It's less about the Raven Queen and more about like quarrels and stories and tales of the gods of old. However, with the inkling to look more into the Raven Queen, see what you can find. Roll an investigation check.
And then what do I add to this?
This is your investigation.
Investigation, so
12. I'm never good at looking for books, to be honest.
12 total.
Yeah.
You managed to find a book called The Penumbral Range, and it is as you thumb through it, it is about the Raven Queen and about a place called the Shadowfell, though not like it doesn't exactly contain what you're looking for. But it's interesting nonetheless. So you grab it anyways, and you kind of start reading a little bit into that. So you can learn a little bit about the Shadowfell and about the Raven Queen. But it's kind of like an overall overview of it more than like a specific look that you're looking for. But it's something. And with that, you can retire to your room with that book.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for anybody else?
What's Lana doing?
I don't know.
Just hanging out with Keith. That's it. She's just enjoying and taking in the moment.
Good.
I'll walk up to Alana and I'll like pet one of Keith's little horns. Would have it was really, really sad when you died.
Well, thank
I'll
you
walk
for
away.
bringing me back.
What did you say?
I said, well, thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah, no problem.
I guess we're not even anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if we keep score anymore. So great. And then I'll just walk away and I'll look and see if Mary's watching me and I'll just keep walking.
Oh, I absolutely am.
I just kind of.
I would like to insight check this whole thing.
I'll,
I'm just trying to. I think I know what's going on, but I've just been trying to parse it out. That's all, and kind of trying to hide a smile.
Okay.
Before I go to bed, I'll kind of like, just kind of side hug Alana before I leave. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
I guess we should. I'd say we train tomorrow, but I guess we have to go watch Honda try to fight an old man.
I mean, why not?
I'll try. Don't fight though.
An old dragonborn, guys.
Sorry, an old person.
Nope, still.
And then I'll try to intercept Val's awkward escaping to his room.
Yeah, I'll stop.
You know, you should tell her, right?
Tell who?
You're not as good at hiding things as you think you are.
No, I'm really quite bad at it. So I'm just happy tonight. I just want to be happy tonight.
Be happy. Just you got a second chance, man. If something happened when I was if something happened when we were in that abyssal place and something happened to him and I didn't say anything, I would have fucking killed myself. So that's not true. That's over dramatic. Just you got a second chance. Don't.
Wait, are you talking about Alexander?
I just leave.
Are you talking about? You talking about?
Nothing. Just don't fuck it up.
I always do. And then I'll
I always do.
Okay. And as another quiet night within the Platinum Sanctuary finishes, each of you resting quietly in your own rooms, gourd pouring over horrid dark magic,
The montage of like just like be quiet and then
Yeah.
just those intense sounds and tones.
I think we'll end it there and pick up with Hondo fighting an old Dragonborn.
And Infernal Box.
Oh, man.
Oh god.
Actually,
I'm so
nah.
excited for that.
Yeah, let's save that. I kind of want to just do the check now.
Let's do it. I need to know what's in this fucking box.
Okay.
Inspire.
Okay, so yeah, hold on. You go through the night. Everyone wakes up. It's very early. But Hondo, as you awake, you open your door, and Uthkadar is already waiting there, along with your whole party, just smiling and waiting to see the bout of the century go down.
We're all just like,
Oh my god.
This guy's really sad.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go. However, before this occurs, Valentine pulls the infernal box once more.
Then I get advantage.
You have advantage from your day yesterday.
Okay. An inspiration, I got it.
It's very early in the morning. It's possible you could swing it.
Okay, I rolled better.
Yep.
Oh,
Let
shit.
me roll inspiration. I rolled an 8 on inspiration.
Good, I like it.
So that is... Okay, I gotta do some math. That's 16 plus... That's 27... 35.
Wow. That's as good as we've done in a while.
Now, I went and closed the page. There it is. So, as everyone is kind of gearing up for this fight, Mary and you guys all begin walking and following Uthkadar as Uthkadar leads you back down through the halls and back towards the Hall of Heroes. But Mary, this whole time, and Val, you're kind of just guiding her along as Mary. You're just focusing on this box, and Uthkadar leads you all through beneath one of the statues. This one of there's a big nameplate at the bottom, and you can see with this massive hammer and brilliant belt, Ragnar Stormborn, this massive figure, already massive from being a massive statue, but massive in his own right as well. And you pass beneath him to a stairwell that leads down into a double wide stairwell that leads down into kind of a wide 2 or 3 tiered Colosseum-like setup. There's a couple of tiers of seating, and set in the sandy base of the base of this Colosseum, like fighting pit area. You can see like equipment, like old equipment, fighting equipment. You can see some like dummies and things for like target practice, some like heavy stones and things, old long like rusted armor and things. But Uthkadar gestures for Hondo to take his position down, and he follows suit as you guys prepare for a bout. But as he begins adorning some armor and preparing himself with a silent prayer and Hondo shadow boxes, Mary, you take time and focus in on this box, and remembering to a point where you got to with this infernal puzzle box the day before, you reach that same point in but a matter of minutes. And then it's the progress forward of just like trying to just find the next chink in the armor. And finally, you hear a click. And for all of you who are kind of sitting in the stand area beside Hondo and Uthkadar, who are down in the actual fighting pit, you feel 2 halves kind of split in your hand, and you have the box kind of cracked and open in your hand. And you kind of tentatively lift off one section of the box and look down inside this box of like roughly that size. And nothing like jumps out at you, nothing attacks you, you don't die, thankfully. But inside you see a box, you see a stack of 6 plates of dark metal that are linked by chains. And tentatively you kind of reach in and poke at it and prod it and pull it out, and you can see these plates are about like paper, like 3 inches on a side, and you can see stamped and etched within them these infernal runes, and there are 6 of them in a row. And they all are just like consistent like runes, all written down in a language that you do not understand. And that's all that's in there.
Ooh, Amaran language.
Yeah.
You roll a d20.
Oh yeah.
I want it to happen. Damn it.
It's always like single digits. It's close. It's close every time.
Damn it. You see... Okay, I've got 2 different things.
Only time I'm happy to roll 5.
Are these the same? Yes, these are the same. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry. Just like reminding... Like, this is from 20 sessions ago? So, like, I'm just like, what did I write here? What the fuck am I on about? I've got a couple of different pages, but this is fine. I'll read it out, and then I've got some pages that you can have for your own notes if you wish. If I can just find it again, like an asshole.
I just realized at the bottom of the bottom left corner of D&D Beyond is you can roll any dice there. I don't know. I'm just late to the party on that.
That's good for like the hit dice or for whatever.
Yeah, just extra little rolls.
Yeah.
Mary, these mean nothing to you. Valentine, you lean over and you don't understand them. Allie, long over your head. Lavender, with the inspiration of your latest entanglement with bardic abilities, you cast a spell, and suddenly the once infernal, like fucked up runes of just harsh hash marks almost shift in place and become common to you. And you can read what appears to be a contract. You quickly read over the statement on the first plate that says, "Be it known to all that I, Carval, Defiler of Souls, have sworn to Mephistopheles, the Cold Lord of Cania, to keep the agreements contained in this oath." On the second plate, "I hereby submit to Mephistopheles truth in all matters and for all time. All knowledge learned and gleaned in my eye shall be presented within his own. I will obey his summons once without question or resistance for any sacrilegious matter of his choosing." On the third plate, "I recognize the dispensation of the Oskorok Starshagarth. This is a word that is not infernal, but in abyssal, hereafter called the Shards. In my capacity as investigator, researcher, and defiler, I acknowledge that all findings are to be shared with Mephistopheles." On the fourth plate, "The Cold Lord is to provide a minimum of 1 shard and maximum of 3 in the agreed-upon time frame of 300 days. Failure to do so nullifies this agreement, and the aforementioned must provide agreeable compensation for time lost, as this is my everlasting pledge." Finally, on the last 2 plates, you can see they're a little different than the rest. They're each stamped in the same way, and the writing you can see is translated for you from Infernal, as you recognize. But rather than stamped and carved in the metal, they glow this faint reddish hue. The wording itself does. And even you guys not reading the spell through the spell, you can see the last 2 plates as Lavender is like quickly scanning through. You can see the words are this faint reddish hue, where the rest are just like engraved metal. In the fifth plate, it reads, "Addendum to the original pact agreed upon by I, Carval, Defiler of Souls, and the Lord of Cania, Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles pledges to provide the recipient, Carval, with a dark tome from the libraries of Mephistar, a book of vile darkness." On the sixth plate, "Upon delivery, Carval, in capacity as High Overseer of the cult of Orcus in Durnhold and its vassal territories, acknowledge that all lands falling under the darkness of those pledging allegiance to him shall be bound now to Cania. All persons bound by oath to Carval are considered forfeit. Upon death of the recipient, the Book of Vile Darkness returns to the libraries of Mephistar, so agreed by the following, Carval, Mephistopheles."
I'm hoping I read this out loud.
That's up to you. But I will send a transcript of that to our D&D chat.
Yay!
Okay, good.
I can't spell.
Oh yeah, there was that one word where it was just like, you're like, that was an abyssal, and just wrote a bunch of question marks.
And
just like, nope.
Is Lord still carrying the book this morning?
The Book
I
of
assume-
Fire Darkness?
I'm gonna make an assumption for Gord's sake that like when you're out with everybody, you're not carrying the book openly, right?
No.
Then
No, I'm not carrying it openly.
I mean, we did know that he got a creepy book from.
Yeah, like you guys
Paul was.
openly, you broke the seal containing the book in one of them, and Gord took it. Like you know that there was a book within the 6 or 7 things you received from Carval's crypt or vault. There was the puzzle box, Mage's Bane, Whisper, this book that Gord took. There was the gem holding the what was his name? It was the Sphinx holding his soul. That was another thing.
Whisper?
Whisper was one. There was another thing. Maybe.
Shard of the
Yeah.
staff.
It doesn't matter.
Alley's.
Oh yeah, the other half of Stormcrag. That's
Yeah.
right. And the black staff was the other thing. So that was all you received from his crypt. But
And
this
a lot of money.
This, as you ascertain through Lavender's recounting of this infernal contract, a deal struck between Mephistopheles, Lord of Cania, and to Valentine and Gord. You guys know Cania to be the 8th layer of hell. Mephistopheles being the Lord of Cania, being the 8th archdevil of the hells. And whatever that abyssal word, some shards, some collection of shards, which you can decipher as you will. And the Mephistar, the libraries of Mephistar, Gord, I think, would probably be the only one who recognized that as being Mephistopheles' like tower within Cania.
Here's what I don't like, but I don't know this. But upon death of the recipient, the Book of Vile Darkness returns to the libraries of Mephistar. You would think the death of the recipient Carval would be then it returns, but if Gord is carrying this book around, that means Carval's not dead.
Yeah, we kind of knew that.
I hate that guy so much.
Well, got some information.
I don't want to go back.
I'm gonna put it back in the box.
Once you learn it, you know how to do it forever, right? The puzzle code?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think maybe we hide this in the secret vault with all the other secret shit for now. I don't entirely understand what this means, but there's a lot of names, and I mean, if all else fails, it's information we have. We might be able to hold over somebody.
Yeah. And if Carvel was trying to keep this secret, it could be valuable.
And I am going to marry, or Valentine is going to write all this down in a book so we have a copy of it at all times. And then Leah is going to read the shit out of this a lot in the next week and try to figure out what the fuck it's about.
Yeah.
I will lean over to Lavender and be like, so who you got in the fight?
Oof.
We'll see.
You gonna put any money on it? What the hell?
I'll bet you 10 gold that Hondo at some point involves shit in this.
I bet you at some point,
Yeah.
Hondo is extremely embarrassed.
I take that bet easy.
Take that back.
As you guys replace these tiles back within the Infernal Puzzle box and reeling with the potential consequences of what they tell, Hondo and Uthkadar, the so old keeper of the Platinum Sanctuary, square off the fight.
Yes.
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Hey!
That's great.
That was
Oh my
such
God,
a
that was
wholesome,
amazing.
fun. Yeah, man.
Hondo, no mercy on this guy though, right?
I'm gonna
He
take him
said
out.
non-lethal.
non-lethal, but that doesn't mean I can't pound him a bit.
Kills Oof.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as the Wildcards test their might and mettle as they set off into the treacherous Kel Desert and face the many challenges it holds. There'll be a new episode up every Tuesday, so stay tuned. But until then, keep exploring.